Now, surely everybody likes a party. Guess what? Me too. So that's why I've given you one with the ESL 1 Road to Rio 2020. We're all on our path there towards that major at the end of the year, the one that was rescheduled. But now we get down to the nitty-gritty of some of the online play, including, but not limited to, some of the matches that we have featured here today. Over here on this main stream, it's going to be kicked off by us with this first match of Vitality and Godsent, followed by North taking on the Heretics. Now, don't you worry. If you don't like any four of those teams, I mean, I kind of do. They're okay. But what you could be looking at is the B stream. That's going to be featuring Fnatic, Movie Star Riders, and a little bit of ENCE and Copenhagen Flames. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get day number 18 of the ESL 1 Road to Rio underway.
I don't wanna wake up messed up, 'cause I can spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I need you now, 'cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this. I don't wanna wake up messed up, 'cause I can spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding.
Welcome back, everybody. Powered by Intel and a lot more than that. Also, some Game Fuel is running through here right now. I'm talking about that Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel sweet stuff, the good stuff. Now, moreover than that would be my two co-hosts here. I'm going to talk about Harry, I'm going to talk about Hugo, and I'm going to do it in the most positive of ways. Guys, you had an off day. You look recharged. You look like you feel a lot better. Harry, looking a little less red today. So how are you feeling, gentlemen?
I feel great, man. And this is like a really nice vibe to start the day off. Trace isn't like just laying into us. Not that he ever does.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to pretend like that's a thing. But yeah, I mean, I'm just feeling good. I'm looking forward to watching some Counter-Strike. Obviously, we've had a lot going on here in the Road to Rio as of late. And boy, is everything shaping up to be a little bit wild across every region right now.
Yeah, every region. We've even had a region conclude, which was the North American side of things. That's where we're going to begin our discussion right here today. We got a taste of it just, it felt like yesterday, but really it was 2 days ago that we saw Gen G and Furia going at it toe-to-toe in a final, a best of three. And we all know how that one ended, but in case you don't, it was Gen G that beat Furia after Furia looked red hot, stomping all over Liquid. So
Yeah.
North America had its sets of ups and downs.
Fury didn't even drop a series coming into that final. That was the first one they lost. And Tracy said it felt like yesterday. It was yesterday. It bled over the midnight hour. It bled into the yesterday. And what a game it was as well. You know, we had a BO3 over in NA. We got a BO5 over in EU. Even more Counter-Strike. But I feel like that series really delivered. It went all three. It went the distance. Each team winning their map pick. Gen G putting up an excellent fight. I'm really looking like a team to watch out for in the North American region.
Yeah, they certainly made an argument for themselves, right? And I think Furia did as well. It felt like a bit of a shame that we didn't get, I wanted even more from Furia in that grand final, right?
It felt like
Because-
K-Serato was just, you know, it wasn't the K-Serato we have for the rest of the tournament.
You know, is such a shame. But yeah, look, we'll see how this went down in North America. As we said, Furia, they hadn't even dropped a series, so they secure that semi-final spot where they 2-0 Liquid. Up until these grand finals, where they went on to face Gen G, who did beat Cloud9 in that rematch the second time around. Up until that grand final, they dropped 2 maps and not even a single series throughout all of the Road to Rio on the Furia side of things. Gen G, they step up when it matters most, and they take the 2-1. They steal it away from Furia, and they win out the NA division.
Now, let's not just stop it there. And before we kick off a little bit of CIS coverage, Hugo, let's not negate the fact that in the third, fourth place decider, Liquid did take another loss.
I was gonna say the exact same thing, and I could see you were picking it up, Trace. I could see you going in that exact direction. Yeah, Cloud9 2-1ing Liquid. That's crazy. Like, that's not what we expected. You can make the argument, you know, the jokey argument. Wait, Gen G are better than Liquid. They beat Furia. Furia beat Liquid. That makes sense. But well, Cloud9 are better than Liquid, at least right now. At least off of that best of three. Who knows if it will hold true? But we'll have to see how things go.
That we will. Also keeping our eyes on the CIS region. Still tons of Counter-Strike to be played here on this side. We're not quite ready to wrap it up, but we are within the confines of a group stage. Now we look at Virtus Pro and Namiga squaring off in a quarterfinal. Winstrike and Simon, they're going to have a quarterfinal of their own, but we already have 2 teams in those semis. That's going to include Hard Legion, and it's going to include Spirit.
Wait, Trace, did you just read out all the playoffs names for CIS? I didn't hear the word Natus Vincere in my ears anywhere.
Wow, you know, that's weird. That's a real strange thing. Well, that's because they're not. They actually go within the 5 games of the group. They lose 3 of them, win 2 of them, and that's just not going to be enough to get you through here. So what happened to the little Navi that could?
Man, they had a very, very rough road to Rio. Like, this was not the Na'Vi we expected, and that's why they're not on this list before our very eyes. Hard Legion and Team Spirit, though, if you want to look at CIS squads that are doing the damage right now, these guys look sick in the group stage. They've both locked in an instant semi-final appearance, and they're going to be facing the winners of those VP Namiga games and Winstrike Simon gaming games.
Yes, gaming games and
Gaming
games of gaming, about gaming, but only a game that you can buy probably on the Steam store, if I had to guess, a gaming simulator. Now, speaking of gaming simulators, kind of what we're doing around here, and when we continue to do that, it's going to be in the EU side of things. The European division of Counter-Strike has delivered in spades. Ultimately, though, a lot of fanfare, a lot of eyes put on Fnatic. But what happened here within the EU side of things, fellas?
Yeah, Group A was super interesting, right? We had some excellent teams, but NIP and Astralis were the two to top the group. They went 6-1. NIP looked so good in this season. They only dropped a BO3 to Astralis, which is, you know, enough to say, right? They beat them back in Pro League. They had a competitive game there as well. For Group B, it was FaZe. Bames jonding it. They went 7-0. They didn't drop a single series there either. It's a FaZe that we didn't get to see, at least in the Pro League, not to the same level. Following up behind them is G2, and at least those were our top two for either side of the group. Here are the brackets as we move forward.
Yes, they certainly are. Astralis G2, FaZe Clan, Ninjas in Pajamas. Now, that's just on the upper side of things. And at least when we look at these teams, we look at what they had to have offered. You also have to pay attention to what's going on in the lower bracket. Now, with that, we have our first matchup of the day. We're going to be covering Vitality and Godsent. We're going to bring those other crew in here for Heretics and North. But overall, guys, when we look at the bracket, when we look at the story that's being told throughout Europe, are there any massive surprises coming your way?
I think Vitality and Heretics getting through the group is a bit of a surprise, right? Because obviously that's at the cost of Fnatic or a team like Complexity that you could argue should be making it through here. They do struggle online. But two French teams coming through is really, really cool in 2020, especially considering that's not G2, right? G2 are over in Group B, also getting out. So France, they've had a really good road to Rio so far. And with Heretics being an up-and-coming team with a lot of firepower in that roster, I think they're going to make a bit of a show here in the playoffs, Trace. I don't think they're going to go down without a fight. Their first game is North.
Yeah, you know, there's been like a few interesting things, right? Because you talk about Fnatic not getting to this stage. I think Mouse Sports are another really big talking point, right, over in the other group. Yeah, there's been their fair share of surprises here, right, I think. But ultimately, the way the playoffs have shaped up makes a lot of sense, right? The teams that have been prevailing are here. And boy, like, I'm really impressed with what we've seen from a lot of these guys where coming into this, I don't think we were expecting much from the likes of, you know, the Heretics or Godsent, or certainly not like these playoff runs,
Top four,
right? Like, and you know, they've made mincemeat of the other teams that have attended that look like the favorites. So,
now,
yeah.
Mincemeat, a real Chad special. I do appreciate a good bit of mincemeat, but on top of that, I appreciate some playoff brackets developing in a certain way. Now, let's just run a scenario by you, as we do know our two games on this side, being that Vitality and Godsent will be first. The loser of that will then go on to play the loser of FaZe and NiP. That's the first game of the day. Now we continue to look down the brackets. What else does that tell us, guys?
You mean the winner of that, right?
Yeah, of course, that's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. You know, lose of this, obviously, in the lower bracket, you lose your first game.
It's
you're
gone.
Yeah, you're gone. Go home. So, yeah, you got to win all your BO3s. Pretty simple. Obviously, you know, round robin. It's nice to move from round robin to double elim, because round robin is a format where it feels like not games are meaningless, but you don't see the weight of the games until the end of the season, right? You don't see how much they matter until they're staring you in the face and you're going, well, I might get eliminated off of round difference. But here in the brackets, here in the playoffs, every game matters, Trace.
Yes, it does. Every game matters all the way up until Rio, and then the games matter just that much
Even
more. What about North versus Heretics? As the loser of that, we have Astralis G2 on the other side.
Yeah, and you know, that's the thing. Like, I think your problems are just beginning here if you find yourself down in that boat. I don't think any of these spots in the lower bracket are a nice place to be, right? It feels like you always see the upper bracket teams tend to do a little bit better just because they've got those extra chances right up their sleeve to keep themselves alive. And then you look at the caliber of teams that we have in those upper brackets, and it is a pretty scary scenario. I think especially for a team like North, who are having to compete with a coach right now. Yeah. But as we've seen, teams like G2, it's proved to be a bit of a bane of their existence. And so maybe if that matchup does come in, who knows, Trace? Who knows?
Yeah, that's what we're going to keep our eyes on here as day 18 of the ESL 1 Road to Rio begins. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There's no better place for you than here and now at the ESL 1 Road to Rio. Team Vitality taking on Godsent. Day number 18 is upon us. Boy, let's get it underway.
Son intelligence de jeu, même quand il avait 6-7 ans, c'était assez incroyable.
Donc au début, on était meilleur que lui.
Je pense qu'il a, c'est à partir de ses 14 ou 15 ans qu'il a commencé à être meilleur.
Au début, quand il perdait, c'était un très mauvais perdant. Hein.
Oui, je me souviens très bien qu'il cassait beaucoup de souris.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Last year, we took 2 lucky winners on a trip to Berlin and gave them the experience of a lifetime. This year, we can take you for a trip to Rio. Take part in a series of GG.bet contests for a chance to win awesome prizes and a trip to Rio. See details on the website.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night and never day. Even when I wash the floor, the dust still comes. Keep on hunting for the bread. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother. Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night, it's never day. Even when I watch the floor, the dust will come. Keep on hunting for the prey. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm. Far from calm, I know you feel me, brother.
ESL 1 Road to Rio is brought to you in part by Intel, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and GG.bet.
RPK, Apex, Shox, Masuta, and of course Zywoo representing the side of Vitality. And then, well, here's the little Godsent that could. Makalele, Crystal, Zen, Maiden, and there's one gentleman that I am, always delighted to hear about, moreover talk about, and even talk to is going to be Stiko. Now, this is a gentleman we're going to have that opportunity to catch up with, and I feel like if there's anything that you guys have to say about him before we get him on air, now would be the appropriate time.
Do you have anything you have to say about Stiko, mate? Do you have like a little speech prepared? You're just gonna like start railing it off? Yeah. Well, firstly, so
here's my problem with Stiko.
Big problems with Stiko here. Now, let's see what Stiko has to say about us. We have him on the line with us. Stiko, can you hear us, my friend?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey.
Hey, first and foremost, I just want to apologize for everything that was said by these two just now. I don't necessarily think it was appropriate, nor do I think it directly reflects myself or the appropriate sponsorships here at ESL One Road to Rio. So, Martin, what's up?
Apology accepted.
Thank you. Let's talk a little about Godsent, man. What's good over there? Because it seems like you guys are making a good run for it.
I mean, yeah, this was our goal to make it to the playoffs. Looking at our group and other teams in the general Road to Rio tournament, we are already satisfied, and now we can only improve and take every match as a bonus. So this is one of them. Hopefully, it's going to be closer than last time we played against Vitality.
Stiko, you guys in Godsent have always been keen to go over the map Vertigo, and even your coach Devil Walker's expressed a lot of interest around that map. We've loved watching you play it, but the results haven't really been there, right, in the Road to Rio, only beating Contact on it. What are your thoughts on Vertigo? What's going wrong? Is it the typical problem of having the results in practice but not showing up in officials? What's up?
Yeah, definitely one of those things. In practice, we usually play pretty well. We adapt pretty well, but once it comes to the official, we are getting caught off guard. And especially last game against Movistar that we lost, it was just, when I looked at the replay, it was rather not ordinary what they were doing on the map, and we just weren't ready for it because we just didn't expect it to be happening at that certain time. But yeah, as you said, one of the things, practice doesn't result in an official game. And second thing is that we were really strong on Vertigo before the update, before they opened up the middle with the area towards B.
Yeah.
So after the update, we thought it's not going to change that much since middle is not that contested. But yeah, it changed a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's not the case.
We have to adapt to it, and we are slowly finding our own style to it, because as soon as we copy some other team, it's not working very well.
Yeah, and it is weird. It's got to fit like a glove almost, sort of like the vetoes that we have in front of us. Now, Stiko, we know that you guys have gone with the Mirage ban. Can you walk us through the veto as it lays out in front of you?
So yeah, our perma ban is Mirage, so that's pretty much not really surprising that we ban it. We have to ban it. We can only float it against teams that are not able to play Mirage. Same for their train. It's their perma veto. So this was kind of obvious. We were discussing about picking the map between Dust 2 and one other map, but we decided with a voting system in the team that we want to go over Dust 2.
Well, hold on. Let me pause you right there. We have Inferno as the second pick. Talk to me about the voting system. How does that work?
Voting system. Oh, so yeah, we just kind of ask everybody, would you rather play this or this map against this kind of team? And then we just vote. Yeah, we feel better on Dust 2. We feel comfortable on Dust 2. We watch games in our spare time, and we know how Vitality might have played Dust 2 better than the other map that I don't want to talk about right now, but we were hovering over that, you know?
Okay.
And obviously they pick Inferno because we have terrible stats on it. It's one of the maps that, again, as Vertigo, the results from practice doesn't really convert into official games, so we expected them to pick it. I mean, there's not much to say. We have just terrible stats on it, so I'm pretty sure they will be confident picking it because we lose against much worse teams than Vitality is. Then Vertigo, yeah, this is what we talk about. We lost against Vitality on Vertigo on EPL, ESL Pro League. We didn't find really groove on that map against them. Zybu was just too strong. And then they decided to let Nuke through, which is pretty understandable. It's good for them. They beat us on that as well last time, but I'm pretty sure we are more prepared now, if we ever get to third map.
Yeah, if we get to the third map. That's the big if out there. Now, Stiko, the last question I'm going to have for you is this. You've been on a lot of international lineups. What can you tell me about the one that you're currently on within Godsent?
It's true, a lot of international lineups behind me. Godsent is one of those that are... I don't know, what's different? We're just, I guess, a little bit more interacting with each other. We are just more friendlier group than a colleague group, if that makes sense. So we are just kind of, we can talk about pretty much anything, whilst on previous rosters, it was kind of tough sometimes to find that sweet spot to talk about with your teammates other than Counter-Strike. So
Yeah.
so right now it's pretty, I find it much easier right now. I don't know if it's just a struggle in all international teams, or it's just my bad history, you know, the teams that I had been unlucky with, but now it's pretty fine. It's pretty fine, yeah.
Well, listen, Stiko, I think you've seen just about everything that this game has to offer, but almost, because we do have to get you in the server. We do got to pit you against Vitality, and I just want to thank you for your time, Stiko. You're a very genuine person in the life of Martin. I'm being told every other couple of months that it's coming out, but, you know, we're on the book list. We're waiting for it, all right?
Yeah. Soon it's coming out, I promise. I'll talk to my manager. I will hit you up on DM, okay? Twitter.
Let's do that. Okay, in the meantime, you go get in the server. We're going to go live. See you, Stiko. Cool.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Dunzo, easy as that. We even got a little bit of a spoiler there as to what happened with the book, but I'm more interested in the game plan and more interested in the map pool that we have in front of us.
Yeah.
How does this affect Vitality on the other side?
That was a great interview.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect Stiko to just sit down, chill out with us for like 15 minutes, tell us about the whole game plan, but he did. And I love that. I like as well that we learned like they have like this little voting system in place to try and figure out. So it's like a team decision
Democracy.
as to what map you go to. And that is a real democracy, you know, if you've ever seen one. That's actually great that they all weigh in. Now, on the other side, you know, because we've been talking a lot about Godsent, I think we need to bring into account these French boys on our screen right here. Team Vitality, they've had a really good route throughout the road to Rio thus far. They've been looking real good.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think for a lot of people, you know, we were kind of anticipating that when Alex left this team, if they were ever going to get back to that same level, it was going to be like a pretty long haul. That's what it felt like at first, right? Because you're putting Apex into a role that he's not been in before, having to lead this squad. Shox isn't doing it. He's actually playing this now like kind of lurk role on his own, right? And there was a lot of like just the fabric of the team having to change. But it feels like as we've seen them go on throughout the road to Rio, the improvements have been there, the results have been there. And Team Vitality, they've actually looked sick with this iteration of the squad.
Yes, but the sickness, are we down with it? I don't think so. What we are down with is doing our predictions via gg.bet. We're going to start off with Hugo on the very end because that's how the graphics work. Thank goodness. So take it away, Hugo.
I think the map veto really does solidify things. Stiko says, oh yeah, if we get to Nuke, if we get to that third map, I think we're more prepared. And that's good. I like the confidence. The issue is if we get to the third map. I don't think we will, right? Dust 2 is a home map for Vitality. Yeah. Inferno is one that the Godsent have lost 9 out of the last 10 times they played it. This doesn't bode well for Godsent.
Yeah, but
I'm leaning for Vitality.
With that voting system in place, at least 3 out of 5 of the players must have wanted to play Dust 2, right? So, like, clearly they've got something.
Wait, what happens if? What happens if it's
actually? Yeah, that's true.
It's like the CEO of the org comes like, nope, guys.
Pronax has actually sat there like as the 7th man to decide.
Can Devil Walk vote? He's not playing. He's coaching.
I don't know.
Does he get a vote?
But it's like
also, Hugo, who do you have?
Vitality.
Vitality. Load that up. We've got Vitality for Hugo. Let's not stop there. We got Harry also in between us. So
yeah.
Lay it on us, Harry.
I've gone with Vitality as well, and sadly, I'm in the same boat as Hugo in that the maps have kind of only further reinforced that for me, right? Inferno has never looked that good for this Godsent squad, especially not as of late. It's been a real troublesome map for them. And Dust 2, as you said, it's like a home ground to Vitality. Sure, they've had their fair share of struggles on it as of late, but this was like one of the go-to maps for this Vitality squad. And I'm struggling to look past that. However, I think if we do end up going all 3, if we do get to Nuke, that's when it becomes a bit more of a question mark. But if I had to pick one, I am going to be going for Vitality here.
You did have to pick one. That's
I did. That is how it works.
Kind of how it works, I think. Let's go ahead and throw.
I'd love to pick 2, honestly.
Well, you might. Let's just see what mine looks like. Let's take a look at my prediction as well and see where it goes. So I've chosen Godsent. Now, of course, things could get a little dicey for me, and that does make sense. However, we've heard some confidence. We've heard some pep in the step of Stiko. We feel, and I feel just through the call, that these guys are ready to get into the server and tear it apart. Now, what makes me believe that's possible? Well, there's this little team known as Mousesports, and we gave them the business the other day. At least when I say we, I'm talking about Godsent did. And that's a shocker. Potentially something that they can carry over into today. And moreover, let's run Bastion's prediction as well. He's also lost his mind and picked Godsent. So we've got our maps, we've got everything that we need, and we're about ready to jump in the server, guys. Any final words?
Yeah, I want to say, I think the big worry here is the fact that, if Godsent are feeling the need to ban Vertigo, one of their go-tos against Vitality, who have only played it 4 times, yes, won it 3 out of the 4 times, but that is a worry for Godsent. The first game of Mizuta in Vitality was on Vertigo, and Vitality won it over this team. So I'm not surprised Godsent are feeling a bit worried, a bit nervous coming into this series. They should be. Vitality are looking hot to trot.
Yes, hot to trot. I'm hot to trot, or just hot. And you can trot. You can trot us right into this game. You can trot us right into a pistol round, Harry Russell. I want you to give it that little English that you know how to spin on the ball.
Yeah, man, give it the English. That's the saying I've learned from Trace, and it apparently comes from American sports. But I'm more
American soccer.
American soccer.
Not to be confused with European football.
Football, of course. Team Vitality versus Godsent, though. Looking like it's going to be anything but a walk in the park here. Dust 2 loaded on in. Map pick of Godsent to start the day. And Vitality electing for a T-side start here on Dust 2. I kind of love to see that. You know, not like, it feels like teams just always pick CT as like the bread and butter of Counter-Strike, but they've gone for it.
That's the key in that this is Godsent's pick, but it's one of Vitality's best maps. So, you know, they're going to pick where they feel more comfortable, and that is the T side. Mizuta looking comfortable as well, finding Madden out of the car. He's going to pick up a quick kill that will elevate the pace towards this A site. Michael is the only man that stands inside of it, not for long. He gets one. His teammates have all fallen in the spawn, and he will follow as well. RPK with a quick tap. Zen tries his best, but even that won't be enough in this 1-on-4. Vitality have got the plant, they've got the A site, and they've locked Zen right out of the round.
Yeah, so Masuta comes in to this just swinging, gets 3, locks in the pistol round for Vitality. And it will just be a save for Zen in this one. If he's able to keep himself untagged, he'll at least get a bit of a cheaper upgrade onto the pistol armor in this following round. But already a great start for Team Vitality. Going 1-0 up and looking to find these conversion rounds. One of the things I did like from that interview with Stiko is he says that on this team, in comparison to international squads of old, is he feels like he can like be more honest with the guys in his team. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because when you think about it, you know, this isn't like Stiko joining a roster that's already been around for ages, right? These are guys who are all kind of in the same position when you think about it, right? They've all come together. They're trying to build this team up. They're trying to make it great. And they know that you're not going to achieve that if you're not prepared to, you know, sit down and talk honestly with people about things and not allow that kind of bad energy to build up in the team. Something that you know that throughout pretty much everyone in this squad's careers would have experienced at some point in time, right? For every one good team you've been a part of, it feels like, you know, they'll always have like 2 or 3 horror stories to go alongside it. And, you know, like the kind of rise up through the pro scene is like a big learning experience, right? Like you see so many players just feeling like completely different, a lot more complete individuals a few years into their playing career. Stiko certainly fit in the bill for that one there. Now an A play underway for Team Vitality. There is a wraparound from Madden over towards Catwalk. He's gotten very, very deep in behind enemy lines. However, problem with being behind enemy lines is that, well, you're behind the enemy lines and they're all there. That is where the enemy are, and they shut him down. So yeah, it is just Crystal and Makalele left standing here. In a 2-on-4 over at the A-bomb site, a retake that's never going to see the light of day. Makalele is already saving this scout.
The maths does check out.
Yeah, and I think what you're looking for here is surrounded. That might be the word that you're looking for. Surrounded behind enemy lines.
I think I've been thinking at this point for a while, but I've never known how to word it. So I'm just going to throw it out there and see what happens. I think Godsent, what is interesting about this team is it's a group of players that kind of got left to the wayside. I don't want to say like, you know, anything negative about that, but players that, you know, didn't get the better end of the stick in their career. If you look at Stiko inside of, you know, sorry, if you look at Zen inside of Mouseport, what am I doing? Zen inside of Penta, for example, with Crystal, right? Like, didn't get the better end of the stick. Players like Sunny went on to do a load of great things. Innocent even had, you know, some really like good pickups back in 2-3 years ago. Even for Stiko and Mousesports, we saw how that went down. I don't think he was appreciated. Yeah, I was going to get to that. But sorry, you know, even with Stiko, I don't think he was appreciated. And I think Mousesports even vocally said that when he left, it did feel different. And that's why I think this roster is so good.
I mean, they tried to bring him back.
Yeah, that's why I like this democratic mix inside of Godsent, because, you know, they're all experienced. They're all older guys. They've all played at a pretty high level, and they know what they want. And that's good. So this team is really exciting.
Pretty much all of them have had that, like, that like fifth syndrome, essentially,
Yeah,
like what
fifth syndrome.
Makalele's
That's
had,
a great
right?
point.
Like,
that's how I wanted to work.
yeah,
it,
like
right?
What
you
did
know,
you call it? Fifth syndrome?
yeah, it's
yeah.
like, you know, you're just like the guy who's doing a lot in the team, but like you don't really get like the appreciation. Yeah, you're not the star. You're the guy that they brought in, and or has been around a while in the case of some of these guys, but never like was never the kind of turning point of the squad. And
Obviously, none of this really applies to Madden either, right? Like
No.
he is the young gun, he is the more inexperienced player in this team, but you always
But I
have
like that.
mix.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not like you've got like these four guys who have always been like the strong be-all end-all voices in their team, right? These are a bunch of dudes who have had the short end of the stick quite a lot in their career, and so they kind of know what it's like, and they know how to, or at least how they want to approach it, to kind of have like a more friendly atmosphere in the team. At least that's what I kind of interpreted with that interview and the information that we know about these guys outside of the server.
And that's why the vibe does seem very different from the outside in the sense of like, you know, like having a ban for, or having like a voting system for maps. I've never heard of any other team doing that. They usually just have this like delegated captain or coach going, yeah, we're playing this map.
Makalele used to just show up and exist, would have like picked them some horrible little map to play on. He's like, well, that looks like I'm dealing with it.
Guys, overpass. But Michael, we've never played overpass. No, of course not.
Right,
yeah.
we got this first buy round coming in for Godsent, and it's rifles out finally. You know, we've waited 3 rounds for it, now we get it. And this scout from Makalele already dealing some damage onto Apex early on over here in middle. But short control, it does get grabbed by Team Vitality. Stiko is posted up, ready and waiting to try and shut this one down.
Stiko, though, blind, also not going to be as blind as long. Apex is going to be the one that's taken down. However, Stiko gets traded on. Which creates a little bit of a sticky situation for Godsent, who have relinquished control of this A-bomb site. Now in a 4 versus 4. Catwalk's covered. And he hits the shot of the planter. That was pretty impressive from Makalele. So overall, not bad. They have stopped the bomb. Should be an attempt at a replant here very soon from Vitality. They're just looking to find a few frags first. They're going to be able to do it. Crystal good on 1, and also the last one left. Does he know that they're both on 14 HP? He reroutes himself through CT spawn. Both players for Vitality playing on the ramp. Again, both at 14 HP. And RPK, well, he's going to be the last one left alive. Shox gets the 2-tap on the cross, and somehow RPK wins it out at the end of the day. So Vitality net themselves another round on the board.
Yeah, I love that play from Crystal, right? The smoke on Cat and then dropping CT. It's such a fast rotation. The Shox was crossing long, not even considering it. And on top of that, because of the smoke, Vitality is so focused on it, right? Thinking about how players can one-way, can give little angles. You know, you don't want that to happen. So Vitality's attention drawn. Crystal gets a kill, but it's a trade from RPK. And 4 in the round from him. He has an excellent one. Even getting 3 with 10 health. ZywOo gone from the round. Deleted by Makalele. Sends push lower. Mizuta, oh dear, does he check it? He does, getting cleared. Luckily, Vitality back at a 4-on-4. The AWP dropped in spawn, and Apex catching aggression. Godsent throwing pushes with an advantage here. Not really feeling like a necessity. The money may be low, but they are just digging themselves a grave in this round. They had a 5-on-4. Since that point, 3 players have pushed, 3 players have died. Makalele and Stiko looking for something. And obviously, you know, it's a double-edged sword. Once you're down a man, you feel the need to push. You feel the need to get aggressive and trade things out. But if Vitality is still running their default, which they were on every part of the map, Godsent is just walking into defensive T players. So this has been made quite the easy round for Vitality. Just got a group with the bomb. Shox is alone with it right now. Stiko's pushing long, but he will be going back towards B to join his teammate. Cat fake right now for Vitality, pulls Makalele out of the B bomb site. With Stiko flanking long, he can come in late on Catwalk, but he's not going to know this is a B play, and that's the biggest problem here for Godsent. Oh no. Oh no.
Dear.
Oh no.
Dear.
What's going on?
He discovers what's going on, but he finds out a little too late. 25 seconds. This bomb is going back in the middle, back into Stiko. Vitality, they're taking risks that they don't need to take. Stiko now in a 1v3, but he's not going to be ready for Masuta. Surely. Oh, apparently he is. A second kill in the round. Vitality, they can't have this be how it falls apart. Shox is looking at long. He's got to get this bomb planted, but a 1v2 is now very, very possible for Godsent. Stiko, in the hot seat here. He's already delivered 2 kills on his way to this clutch. Is he going to attempt it, though? This bomb, take it away. Time now his enemy as Stiko starts to reroute in through CT. Shox is looking, and he does get spotted there. Looking for the repeat as he gets up on top of the box, and it's Shox to hit that shot. 5th round on the board for Team Vitality as they continue to go flawless. That round got a little bit scary.
So what happened for Vitality, right? They want to fake A while sending the bomb B. They go for that A fake. They clear the A site, and then the B tunnels players go, wait, A's clear? Okay, we should probably bring the bomb there. They don't want to walk into B and walk into 2 players. Little do they know, Godsent are 1, pushed long, and 2nd in middle because they were drawn out of B by that fake A. So Vitality, they did it perfectly. They sandwiched Godsent out of the round and then almost walk back into them. Stiko gets a couple of kills, but he can't close the 1-on-4. It's fine. It's a 5th. It's Zywoo tagged up early, and another fast approach towards A, at least for Mizuti. He gets tagged by Deagle, and that will keep him cautious at best. Godsent on a low economy round with Zen on a hero rifle. We've been seeing more and more of these, more and more of these as of late is what I was looking to say.
There we go.
He's done it.
Yeah, more and more.
I was thinking of late,
more,
and that doesn't really make sense.
More of these.
Day 60 for those wondering of us here in Cologne.
Yes,
today.
sir. And I'm pretty sure about 50 of those, 52 of those, maybe 53 of those live
broadcast days
on air.
Yeah.
Bringing you all of the action of both ESL Pro League and the ESL 1 Road to Rio.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
Well, you're not going to get it any other way. So, luckily for you, I might also remind everybody that over on the B stream, Fnatic's taking on the Movie Star Riders. Fnatic, not plural. Meanwhile, smoked off on Catwalk proves to be a little bit of a problem for Vitality because all over the map, trades are coming through. 3-on-3 currently. The B bomb site is compromised. Maiden's going to be the closest one on the job for Godsent. Here's the plant, tries to creep through. RPK a little bit wiser.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I don't think this ends the way that Zen wanted it to. And just leaves Stiko. He's got himself a pretty cool little SMG, but it's not going to stack up too well against these AKs, especially when RPK is just walking around the corner and one-clicking your face.
And this is why I was a little bit, like hesitant to believe Godsent could win this series when I saw them pick Dust 2, right? It's Vitality's go-to. It's a French affair, really. And the scoreline showing that 6-0, no signs of stopping. And yeah, picking the T side as well has done great work for Vitality. Godsent have just been getting kind of played, right? Just messed around with. Vitality, a quick B play in that round. They get 2 kills. They just catch the rotations as Godsent try and move out of there. So what have we got in this one? More pressure down middle. More of a default for Vitality. They are going to prod and poke towards the mid positions, then getting pushed down to low health. Vitality trying to flash their way in, but Molotovs from Godsent, they're putting a lot of pressure, a lot of focus here on mid. 4 players, or 3 rather, in position with Michaelele on the catwalk. And, well, Vitality, they're grouping for a B play right now. Only Shox up on Cat himself. He's going to be faking it out, but he might just run into this AWP and call Vitality to just rush into B. Luckily, only 1 man there. Oh, that's a big kill.
Yeah, Shox winning his fight onto Makalele over at Catwalk, and that's forced these players in mid to try and get a bit aggressive for information. Now, Crystal goes unchecked, but doesn't get a kill. Instead, it's Zen swooping in and saving the day, leaving this in the advantage of Godsent, and actually, he's hungry for more. He gets flashed through by Stiko, and Zen was on a tear. This leaves Zywoo now in a 1v2 clutch, and Stiko finds him. Godsent, they will put their first round on the board here in round number 7. In spite of losing Makalele early on, that mid-push, they're able to deal with Shox up on Catwalk. They come in for the rotate. They've got fast rotations because they're only in middle. And Zen here getting flashed through by Stiko for the repeat after those 2 kills. Stellar stuff from him to hold down this B bomb site, and that will be Godsent finally arriving on the tally.
And I told you guys that Godsent was my prediction. There was a reason. They are on their way. Bringing it back here. For Vitality, though, it's another day in the office. No hiccups, coughs, none of that.
Yeah, I like how Godsent set up heavy in middle right, Harry. You put it well. It's to enable those fast rotations, and it does do that. You know, obviously, we haven't really seen Vitality go for fast plays out of spawn, hitting cat quick or taking long immediately. They delay take it in this round, but the AWP is already posted, so Michael gets away with a kill, and Godsent are going to be able to rotate towards A if needed. It's probably not. We've got a double cat setup. Stiko's here, and he's going to get away with a kill. It's actually Michael dropped below him in spawn, playing very passive, watching this long cross. The bomb has already been dropped, though, in the open. They've got to go back for it with these smokes. Vitality picking it up and having control over the site, but with a 3-on-5, it's stalling out their ability to plant. Molotov's in the way. Time being taken from the hands of Vitality. 50 seconds. More Molotovs. Dear oh dear. Vitality waiting for even a modicum of a moment that they can get this plant, guarantee that money that they so desperately desire, despite being 6-1 up. This should be a Godsent round. They're playing it safe enough. They're playing for retake, not wanting to give away kills until that bomb has at least been planted, and Vitality have settled back.
But RPK, with almost 200 ADR to his name, might have something to say about this round. Flash goes over from ZywOo, but Shox mistimes the peak. Godsent trying to close the gap. It's another good flash from ZywOo, and it is just a mow down. Everyone's blind, and Shox goes on a tear. ZywOo, the support king, throws in that second flash, leaves everyone from Godsent blind. And that goes from a 3-on-5 to 3 players surviving for Vitality in a matter of seconds. That there was not even fair. That was an utter shootout in the bomb site, and it is that flash from ZywOo that kickstarts absolutely all of it.
It's an excellent crossfire, but how the hell did Godsent not even get away with a kill there, right? They know where everyone is. They've even spotted Shox on default from that earlier flash peak, and that's why Godsent were playing for retake, right? When Vitality plant the bomb, that means Godsent know that everyone for Vitality is within a certain radius, within a certain range of that plant. They're playing the package, and so Godsent just get mowed down. I've never seen anything like it. Vitality.
That was actually nuts.
Yeah, there's a reason they play Dust. There's a reason you don't pick it against them. And Godsent are learning that the hard way. 7-1 down, an eco round, and that would have broken Vitality's money if Godsent won it.
Well, not only that, that really shows like the drawback of having your entire retake come in from one position, right?
Sure.
Everyone's at cat, they're all looking into the bomb site. Like usually you'd have CT players who wouldn't be blind to that flashbang, or you'd have long players coming in on the wrap. And that just doesn't materialize for Godsent. And because everyone is blind, it allows those 3 players in the site to swing out, all take different targets. But my word, somehow, some way, Madden is actually having a real chance in this round. He's doubled up with the Deagle. Vitality gonna have to claw their way back into yet another round, but they are helped out by Zen. It's still Madden's Deagle doing damage, and finally Shox is able to find him. It's a 2-on-2, but maybe Madden has done enough to make this round at least feel doable for Godsent. We're gonna look towards Crystal and Makalele to try and seal the deal. Makalele gets some damage off, but Crystal, now they know his whereabouts, and he will get put in the ground by RPK. 8 on the board for Vitality, and the dominance, well, it continues here.
Does RPK want to chill out a little bit? Just take a break, relax, man. You're 16-3. Give us a chance.
He's Le Tank, and he has no sign of Le stopping.
I actually, one of the wild things about this Vitality squad is it really does feel like more now than ever, you don't need ZywOo to drop like 40 kills in a game for you to win. It still comes up every now and again. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it does feel like the rest of the gang have all found a lot more consistency in these times.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the amount of time they've had in Apex in this role now as well has certainly helped that, right? We've had a couple of months, so, you know, Mizuta, I imagine he's more comfortable inside of this team. I imagine Apex knows more about Celeste, what he's doing now, and right now the results are showing, right? Vitality coming alive at the end of Road to Rio, and well, the end, it's just beginning right here as we get into these playoffs, the first day of them. Got a week of playoffs ahead of us here for EU. Let's see what Vitality can do. It's one man on B. Crystal waiting. He's got utility, trying to put that out, but he's already spotted this fast contact play for Vitality. They are in the sight. Crystal stalling as long as he possibly can. The flash is good. He gets a kill, doubles it as well. Surely his time is going to be coming to an end here, and they will overwhelm him in the B site. No utility to cut off this door, and so Michael will just fight tooth and nail through it. Stiko as well, scoped up by smoked off. Vitality can get the plant.
That they can. Strength in numbers still here for Vitality, not only on the scoreboard, but the 3 players alive, that's easy. Makalele and Stiko back away and save these AWPs. So another one for the Fringe side, 9-1, running the board here on the pick of Godsent.
And Michael, you know, he's been good with this AWP. He's 3-1 in opening duels. He's finding, you know, advantages and frags for Godsent with this weapon, but they're not really getting converted. Vitality is so good at the mid rounds. And they're stalling out these defaults for quite a while. I just like the playbook, right? Like, Vitality will run these defaults round after round after round. Then they'll just throw in a B play like that out of nowhere, off of spawn. And Godsent, only one man on defense there. No reason to expect it. Vitality find a 9th round. This is, yeah, a masterclass on T-Side Dust 2 right now. And this shows why they picked the half after Godsent picked the map. Luckily, this double AWP is carried on by Godsent. A quick tactical pause behind it. Of course, here at the Road to Rio, coaches can be vocal at all times, and I imagine Devilhawk is, but this pause at least gives him a moment to really isolate some of the problems that Godsent are dealing with.
You know, and Chad actually just came off a HLTV confirmed podcast with Pronax, and you had plenty of good things to say about it. And of course, I've known Pronax for a while. I'm sure you guys have seen Pronax's words around quite a bit, but he's a cool cat. In a world full of stray dogs. That's all I got to say about it.
Meow.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, like when you think about his path, right? Like going...
Hold on, hit with that. Hit just one more time for us, Hugo.
Meow.
All right, and that is going to be the audition for Cats for the side of Hugo. Make sure you send that one in for the audition tapes.
I reckon he would get a part in that new Cats film, because from what I heard, it was literal garbage.
Yeah, I'm awful at acting, so
okay, well,
count me a spot.
We're going to take our next caller here on ESL 1 Radio, of course.
Road to Radio.
The Radio to Rio.
We're actually cutting the visual feed. You only get our voices and the gun sounds.
No, I couldn't think of anything worse. Because then when you watch it muted, then what are you going to do?
Wow.
Makalele holding on to middle. And he's looking to try and spot for this opening kill. He's been very, very proficient at finding it, has Makalele. But in this round, might not be the case. Zen has gone aggressive in through long. Stiko is even here, looking to get his AWP stuck in. He backs away. You know, you don't need 2 players to commit to this flank, and he's going to be able to offer more resistance over here at the A-bomb site, which is where Team Vitality are going to drop a man in through CT. It's Shocks on this round. Makalele only good for 1, and then dealt with. Crystal and Stiko put up a kill apiece, but no one, and I repeat, no one was ready for Shocks down here. Close in the CT angle, but he's lost the rest of his teammates. Shocks is in a 1v3, and he wasn't able to finish off Stiko the first time around. Zen from mid helps out, saves the day, and that will be a 2nd round on the board for Godsent, and they're only armed with pistols, armor, and those saved AWPs.
Oh, Stiko's got to be very grateful that Zen bailed him out there. He was dead, undoubtedly there. So,
mate, it was one of those like awkward scenarios as well, where the 2 players down in mid didn't actually want to peek right away because they're worried about, you know, like Shocks holding them from the elevator. And so like there was a world where they don't even peek that, and Stiko just gets 1v1'd at long. But yeah, luckily enough, Zen does decide to take the peek. I imagine Stiko was calling for it the whole time as well. Shocks is continuing with his fast plays as him and RPK barrel into the B-bomb site. Apex is out in the back line, and this whole round has been stolen away almost immediately by Team Vitality.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, this is just a testament right now for Vitality. They are simply outclassing Godsent at every turn of the track here.
It almost feels like that's predictable at this point, right? Like Vitality finally lose another round, they get broken, their economy's low, they've got enough for a buy. Shocks has 4K, he buys a Mac 10. I love that. and Vitality just B-rush with Apex walking through the mid-door smoke, and Godsent, yeah, they lose 2 players on the back line. Again, a solo B setup for Godsent. It's been really the problem all game long. Not like Vitality have only hit the B bomb site, but every time they have hit the B bomb site, there's not been a defense. There's been a solo player there. And Crystal, he's actually had some good defenses. He's gotten away with 1 or 2 kills most of the time, but it's not enough. If you're running solo B, Vitality have all this utility just to cordon you out of the round. It's forcing Godsent to save. RPK has not stopped either. Just look at how quick he's getting the kills. Here's the flank from Apex, leading by example. And he seems very comfortable in the in-game leading position, especially in maps like this, like Dust, that can be very basic to call. And maps like Apex has played for the last couple of decades here, so he's going to be more than comfortable. 10-2 for Vitality. Any solution, any result from Godsent would be good here. That's a start. Michael Ellie again keeping up these opening kills, finding Bazooka through a smoke while blind, and able to fall off towards a corner.
Oh, Shox and Steeko. They'll exchange a bit of a grazing with one another. They both get put down low in the process. Zen, in the meantime, has gone in through the lower tunnels and is looking to clear out this B side of the map. This is a huge bit of information for Godsent to grab.
I like how someone's spamming it from B as well, just to draw attention if there was a player there. Not going to matter, not going to be needed.
Yeah, they still haven't like reacted to this right away. And this rotation from Crystal has taken a little while longer than I anticipated. So actually, it's not going to have like the most resounding implication for the rotations, but it still allows you to commit to this this A-side rotation, knowing this is 100% where the player's coming in now. Players crossing into the site. That's Zywoo and RPK. Makalele gonna swing on out, and he does deal with both players. Shox is left up in a 1v4. That flash was a little too good, even blinding Makalele. But he gets it the second time around. It's 4 in that round for Makalele as he continues to lead the charge for Godsent, both in the opening kill department and in just the kill department. He's actually really nailing it there.
And so are you, Harry Russell. Everybody out there in the audience appreciates you. Hugo might even appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you.
Wow. So Hugo's only a maybe, and I kind of figured that's where he would lie.
You're all right, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
On a good day.
Well, I'm never going to say the line of, I'm not a wizard, and then my name, because once it's out there, there's no taking it back.
You already said Yusilla was a lobster, so...
That is true, but that's because maybe he was in that moment. Steeko here has got to be a hard-shelled crustacean of his own as he's got to rebound this offensive into the A-bomb site, and he's done a lot of damage. Zen's here to help him out. They do best Steeko, but it's Zen still holding the line, finally bested. Shox left in a clutch again, and Crystal has the round dead to rights. It's 4 on the board.
Shox actually had the read there. He was so ready for the flank, and Crystal was walking right into his headshot angle, but Michael Ellie jump shots, and Shox thinks he's being pushed on catwalk, so he 180s, gets caught up in that fight, and gets flanked. It's going to recover Godsent with 4, though.
So, not to really derail us here, I think this is very pertinent. We're going to load up just a few bits of words here from the CSGO dev. Now, explosive grenade damage around small obstacles such as stairs will now apply damage to players more reliably.
This is the best news to wake up to.
Fantastic news. You know what's even better news than that? That's what we're playing on here at the ESL 1 Road to Rio, baby. Let's go. We got the update locked and loaded, and that's what these teams are playing
I noticed that we weren't on the update before, as far as I'm aware, because we weren't seeing the new kill feed icon. So now, updated and ready to go, those grenades will not go nowhere after all. The little problems with elevation, the little corner clipping, hopefully all removed. As well as that, the use button is now back in full effect. Valve claim they fixed it many months ago. They did not. Yeah, they did not fix it. So now
we have to wait and see.
Now they have, hopefully.
Well, B play from Vitality, and it's Zywoo's Deagle, but he's only good for 1. Makalele is absolutely tearing them apart, and Zen comes in at the very end to solidify 5 on the board for Godsent. Stick around. This series is heating up. You don't want to miss it.
my chances. Yeah. And we ain't sleeping on the floor again. We never sleeping on the floor again. For the ones who didn't make it out, for the ones that didn't see the life, for the ones that never cared, never gave a thought, found no happiness in that brand new car or the house you bought. I see you talking about the love you lost, and it was gone like way before you ever thought it was. Yeah, I took my time, no quick ones, quick run, quick gas to get back there. Hot roads, I didn't think I'd come back fierce, cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. Fucked up all my chances. And we are never feeling cold again. And we are never feeling cold again. But I can't act like it's easy. It's hard to preach. Cause I've been burning trees and watch them fall. If we cannot breathe out, we go forward. Sure, I was searching for cure. Fishing a little wildlife. And when I'm low on fuel, I'll still be running till my back broke. Halfway, lost hope and I checked it. Hard roads, I didn't think I'd come back fast. Cause I was running roads so many nations. Even when it's so sweet, I end up seeing red. Is it such a ghostly revelation? I may have fucked up all my chances. Fucked up all my chances. Been around the globe, looked around and fitted. Seen high and lows, but you won't even get it. Been around the globe, think it's time to admit it's not the end, but the road, and you won't even get it.
Well, Godsent taking on Team Vitality here on the beautiful site that is Dust 2. And currently, Team Vitality sitting 10-5 up. And oh my word, look at this. You don't even get time to finish the intro because it's already a B player. That nade has already found a boatload of damage. Crystal will come in with a kill very, very quickly with a bit of a response. And this B site actually does belong to Godsent now. In spite of that nade finding all this damage, no kills have come in. And Team Vitality, they're on for a 4-on-5 retake. Hugo, take us through this one.
The old B bomb site, it is a cruel mistress. And that's at the best of times. We've got flashes on Shocks, but a double tunnel flank and a double setup for it. Godsent are ready. They've got the manpower. Oh, they had the manpower. Zen has gone early. Madden trying to refight and reface, but he loses it. Zywoo with a kill, and the flash is good. Apex bursting through with 2, and Michael Ellie in the car. Well, now gone. Zywoo just drive by, like you know it and love. Vitality find a pistol round. That's ridiculous. I don't know how they win that and make it look so easy. We had all those setups, Harry. We had all those 1-2 punches.
Yeah, and so now with the pistol round locked in, 11-5, things are looking like they might come to a pretty abrupt end on Dust 2 unless Godsent are able to upset the natural order of things with this force buy. But you're asking a hell of a lot from these 3 Galils and a scout on Makalele. They're going to get the tag on the cross, but wasn't able to do that. And so Masuta will make it across unharmed. The cat play, the order of the day from Mr. Shocks. Flashed in by Apex in order to get that kill. And now they sit a man up against this force buy round. This is exactly where Team Vitality are looking to be, but maybe not where Apex is looking to be as he gets put in the ground.
Yeah, that's a good call. Hit the B site. The issue is Mazuta's going to hit all of this. He's pushed close, and so footsteps are very loud. He's calling for a rotation. Everyone on the minimap moving towards B. Mazuta, how many can he get? He's got 1, 2. Great hold from Mazuta with the MP9. It's a no-scope to take him out, but more scouts on the CT side. We've got grenades for the plant as well. That needs to be a focus here for Vitality. So we're trying to work out where the bomb's going, and a grenade right on top of it is excellent. Michaelele low, and Zywoo with a no-scope doesn't kill the plant. Shocks will instead. Vitality are looking like such an exciting team right now. This is a great game from them. Like,
There's just so many rounds that they go into it, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they're like 2 players down, retaking a beat. Oh, wait, they've killed everyone, and they're fine. No one's actually even died.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are a treat to watch right now. And Godsent really getting put through their paces here in their map pick of Dust 2. 12-5 lead solidified for Vitality. A bomb plant at the very, very least in that round there for Godsent. But that's really going to offer nothing more up other than a bit of a pistol investment with... they're going to go for the investment here. Now,
I kind of respect this from
you
Godsent.
know, you don't have like a crazy amount of time left, and you've got a chance to get back into it here thanks to that bomb plant. You do still have a comparable force to what you had in the second, with a little bit more sprinkled in on top. But this also means that if you don't win this, you're never going to get a T-side AWP. You're never really going to have that in your pocket, assuming that Vitality keep on finding success, right?
Yeah.
The best you're going to be hoping for is these AK buys, so you really are hinging on finding a round here now if you're Godsent. Because if not, it might be bye-bye to map number 1.
I like the element of surprise idea, but Michaelele already gave away the fact that they forced here. Stiko actually doesn't shoot on the cross, and I thought that was like purposeful for Godsent, right? Like, don't show the fact that you have a gun unless you've got a gunfight. And well, with Michaelele spamming and flashes going up catwalk, Vitality, no. They've also done great grenade damage, and Mazuta has pushed the tunnels. He's cleared this entire area out. Oh dear. Now, it does mean there's a long rotate for Apex going in through spawn. He can start to run eventually as footsteps can't be heard, but Godsent are going to beat Vitality to the punch. Double long play, already out on the catwalk. Zywoo needs to get this Molotov down right now. He doesn't realize how deep they are. RBK winning his fight on long, traded. Zywoo with the flash, finding one, but there's still another man on the boxes, and he's being pressured from the sidelines. Here's that long flank coming through, and it is almost worth it. It's really not. Apex is dead, but it gets the info, and Shocks does trade that kill. Once again, leaving Zen in a 1-on-2 that he just can't do. Vitality, another retake added to the tally. They've got hundreds to their name and 13 in the game. That being rounds, not retakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's another good one from Vitality, where they're able to retake this site. They hold on to it for long enough. Real problem there for Godsent as well is just the utility bought enough time for that flank to come on in. Now, admittedly, it didn't find all the kills, but the rotation was super long for Apex, right? The fact that he's still even allowed to play into that round in any way, you know, if Godsent weren't running up against like the full incendiaries still available to Vitality, if there weren't still flashes and smokes coming in, then they maybe could have picked up the pace there, and it could have been a very different round. If they get out through long without having to worry about getting split, without the fast cat rotations nipping at their heels, it could have been a Godsent round. And now it's back in with another force buy. This is kind of the only option that Godsent have now until the end of this game, is to just keep throwing investments into the swing of things. Shocks is holding on to mid, and he will get pressured, and he answers the call the first time around. Finds the frag onto Crystal, and now a real frag thrown out into mid, this time not doing any damage. The utility has been great from Vitality thus far, though. And Godsent, they've been sent out of mid. They try and go towards catwalk, but Zywoo, he hangs out here from time to time, and it's certainly not where you want to find yourself if you're Godsent. That nade, even more damage then. 50 points of health in a 1v4, getting shot on the cross, and Shocks makes quick work of him. 14 on the board for Vitality, and this is a very, very dominant start from the Frenchman.
Yeah, I thought maybe Godsent would put together some T-side rounds, right? They've had some very viable ones. Godsent have had 3 bomb plants out of the 4 rounds on this T-side, and well, 3 out of 3 have been retakes for Vitality, so 2 of them even B rounds, so that was a bigger surprise. Godsent not able to close the B bomb site rounds, which can be so easy at times, but Vitality showing us why this is one of their mainstays in the map pool. Godsent's picking the series as well. We head to Inferno as the next map. That's a map Godsent have lost 9 out of the last 10 times they've played it. Certainly not the stat line you want me to ring out if you're a fan, but sometimes reality, well, it's not always nice. And Zen, he's figuring that out, working his way through middle. He's walking into a hell of a crossfire. Player in the B window, one more man down in CT with quite the off angle. ZywOo ready for that contact, but he's also got to assist on the A site when catwalk control comes through. It hasn't yet. Godsent taking their time, flashing into long, facing RPK who's low, and a smart decision from RPK to back all the way off as the nade comes in. Godsent, where is this one going to end up? Because while long is getting taken, bomb is still on catwalk, and players in lower. Potential A take here for Godsent, but always with the chance to back off towards B, considering they haven't let the tunnels go yet. We've seen a lot of aggression from the CT side up in the upper dark, but right now it's actually Apex to go down first in middle. That opens up this mid to B, but with the players out long, that also might be tempting for Godsent as they set up towards his site. I think Vitality are one step ahead of things, either trying to stop this mid to B or come in on the cat flank. ZywOo dropped by the man in middle at Zen, going back towards tunnel as his team take the A site. Stiko with the deagle up on long, missed shot. He needs to get across. Michaelele is able to get the bomb plant, and Stiko's actually upgraded from the car. Shocks with a tap for this round, surely not doable.
No, and this one will be one bridge too far for Vitality. They're not able to do anything there. Godsent, they do get a 6th on the board, and so there's still a world in which they can make this game more competitive, but my word, is it going to require something incredible here from Godsent. They sit at a tremendous disadvantage at this point in the game. They're going to need 8 rounds in a row if they want to tie things up with Team Vitality. At the very, very least, this second round might be guaranteed for Godsent, as it is just the pistols, a lot of them vanilla in their nature here for Vitality. Crystal gonna land a little fadeaway onto ZywOo while Madden deals with RPK. And that's already this round pretty much locked in now for Godsent. They sit 5 on 3. If you manage to let this one slip through the net, yeah, I mean, it would actually be more impressive than anything else. So Godsent gonna get a free path in towards the B bomb site. Vitality have stacked everyone up over towards A, and this is gonna be 7 on the board for Godsent. Really not anticipating these pistols being able to get away with much. At the very most, you know, they'd like to get a kill, maybe take an AK with them into this follow-up round.
I think even that is optimistic at best here for Vitality, unless they find Madden, but good luck. Stiko, full HP, already on the hunt, already dropping Mizuta, falling back towards that A site. There's another man. Apex has a really good off angle here. He's going to see your feet before you see his. But not hanging around for too long. Godsent aren't willing to throw away guns in this round. They want to keep fire alive. Oh dear, Shocks. Not even really getting a chance in that gunfight. He's just going to fall away as to not give those $300 to his opponents. But doesn't really have a choice. I do want to see what Godsent have for us on Inferno. It's a map that I haven't actually seen them play with this roster, and given how awful those stats are, I want to know why. So that will still, well, definitely be coming up after this one, no matter how long this game does go. But let's see if Vitality want to stop it before it starts. With a double orb straight into this round, 14-7, full bore are the Frenchmen up against Godsent.
Yeah, so let's get a taste as to whether or not this Godsent comeback is something we should be taking into account. This first rifle-on-rifle round is both a litmus test and also, in a way, the final test for Godsent, because if they're not able to win it here and now, they will be up against map point for Vitality. Masuta crumbles at the B bomb site, and this is a save already. Vitality, yep, nah, we're good. We won't try this one. And you understand why. It's not a nice call to have to make, but it is the most logical, right? You're in a 4-on-5 retake at B, double AWP in the retake, not something you really want, especially not over towards that B bomb site. You know that Godsent, as a result of only expelling, you know, a flashbang to get them into the site, are still sitting on a bounty of util themselves. And then not to mention that if Vitality did go for this and didn't win it, which would be the expected outcome, they would be ecoing themselves. And that is how you give Godsent a way to get back into this map. So they concede this 8. They've still got rounds to play with. They're not worried yet. But this is still Godsent putting a couple of rounds together over here on the T side and starting us off on what could be the beginning of a very long comeback here in the first map.
For sure. Worth noting, if anyone from Godsent is watching this back, that flashbang did not blind Mizuta. I don't know what it was. It went over the skylight. It went out into B, but Mizuta did not get blinded. So
Is this your new angle? You're gonna like little.
Always worth noting.
For when they do the VOD review.
No, I do. I do that a lot.
Yeah, I like that.
You really did flub this one. Just make a quick note here, but no problem. Speaking of flubbing things, right now it's a little bit of a back and forth flubbed affair between the Movie Star Riders and Fnatic going on over in the B stream on the first map of Train. It's Fnatic up 12 to the 11 of Movie Star Riders. So quite the confrontation going on over there. Either way, just on the cusp of finishing map 1 over here on the A stream. After this game will be North versus the Heretics.
Well, that is the question, right? On the cusp of finishing, are we, right? Are we? Because 3 rounds in a row for Godsent against 14-5. They made this one look interesting. They're trying to draw the comeback. Again, as Harry said, very difficult to believe in, but got to start somewhere. So let's see what Godsent can do in this one. Still that double AWP remains, of course, as Vitality gave Mizuta a FAMAS into this round. And he's got support towards B this time. Shox is there with that secondary AWP. So Vitality at least armed and dangerous towards the B bomb site. Not having to play any more saves in this round. 3 on 8. And that's where Godsent are looking.
FAMAS, of course, a bullpup style weapon out of Saint Etienne. French region, or excuse me, French city. Has been seeing a lot more and more popularity these days. However, it's ZywOo that has all the popularity. #1 rated player. Will he have a shot? No, he won't even get to take one off. RPK somehow is able to stay alive in his duel, but then he's eventually going to get caught up with by Maiden. That does create a bit of a problem here as we look at Vitality already going for the save with that FAMAS and AWP.
Ooh, what have we got on our hands now?
A bit interesting now. Because it's not just like these...
All right.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird one. It's not just like these, you know, running into B, getting the kill, and then saving for Vitality anymore. You know, that was an A execute where Team Vitality, they had their fair share of gunfights, they had their fair share of chances, and they weren't able to find it. And Godsent are even hunting these weapons down. I love this from Godsent. They know that this comeback hinges on getting control of the money. And how do you do that? Well, you stop Team Vitality ever taking any rewards with them out of the round. And Shox is at risk as well. Luckily enough, he's holding down the line, and he just about survives.
He did? Dinked.
Oh.
He did survive.
Yeah, he got dinked through a wall.
Wild. That was crazy.
Wow. They needed that at the bare minimum. I mean, it's not like they're going to buy around this, though. That's the issue. Shox can drop Deegs and they can get Kevlar. That's it for Vitality. You don't want to buy this round. This game is no longer fully in your control. It's been 4 in a row for Godsent. They've been finding a lot of rounds. So, yeah, don't assume you've won the game when you're up against 14. You haven't even guaranteed OT yet. Vitality know it, so a bit of a breather here as they hope the Shox can win this round. We did have Art from Furia close out Vertigo on an eco round, 4 USPs with the AWP. He aced that round to close Vertigo. So don't count Shox out here.
And some people said that couldn't be done.
Yeah, some people said it was... Why would you buy an AWP and an eco trade?
Yeah, it's impossible. Why on earth would you ever have that set up? And then that guy, well, he definitely got told.
Yeah, silly that person. How dare he?
A little bit of silly buggers there by that gentleman.
We've got a B-rush on our hands, though. Take it away, Harry.
Yeah, Crystal. Ooh. Well, not so much Crystal instead. It's actually Shox at the back of the site. This B play has been put to a grinding halt, but they do manage to deal with Apex. Shox, it's another dink in through the B box, and he's still alive. ZywOo comes in, and as does RPK. And that's how Vitality find map point there.
So again, where were we talking about this AWP again, the hero op? Even though, you know, he kind of had it already from the previous round.
How many kills did he get? 1 or 2 there?
I think one?
Yeah, I think it was all the pistols, right?
Yeah.
Apex and the CZ, ZywOo running through the doors, bam, bam, bam. Wow, just gets it done. Quick affair. Vitality 15. I'm not really sure.
I think it was actually ZywOo with the tunnels flank that got 2, and RPK was the door player. But yeah, you know, no one holding the back line, and that's because they were too worried about the front line. And well, the lines kind of got a bit blurred in that round as to who was what and where was when.
Yeah, and ZywOo going over the top in this round. Not getting it jumbled up. He's already helped to put Godsent on the back foot here. Shox with AWP, should find a kill with ease, and he does. Just made it in Zen to try to keep the dream alive on Dust 2.
Oh, my.
So far, a pretty sweet shot. 2 of them, to be exact, over here towards this B bomb site. But getting the bomb planted is one thing. Defending it is the other. Vitality can smell this blood in the water. And whether they like Tuna or not, they're about to get a mouthful right here.
Apex and RPK coming in through the tunnels together. Too many for Zen to deal with. Madden left up 1v2, now 1v1. Madden holds it down from the car. 3 kills to his name. And he puts a 10th on the board for Godsent, keeps that dream alive. Madden has had a pretty quiet game thus far, but that round there, when Godsent needed him the most in a 1v3, he's able to hold the fort. 10 now on the board, double digits for Godsent. And still, in with a chance of equalizing up this map. There's still 5 rounds. There's still a lot of time for Vitality. This comeback, this war is not won yet. But the battle was in that round there by Madden, and that could be the start of something here for Godsent once again. It looked like it was all said and done. But they're asking for more, setting up over towards the B bomb site. And once again, it's going to fall to Masuta and Apex to try and hold the line here if this play does indeed come in.
And it will. Godsent already peering through the edge of the smokes, already flashing into the site. Madden's got an entry in middle, meanwhile, and 2 with a crossfire inside of B. Apex draws the attention. Mizuta hasn't moved. They don't know he's here. And so Godsent bail. They didn't want to walk into that 2-man setup. They've drawn enough of a rotation, and they're going to look elsewhere. They were definitely committed with that B play, so good call to actually get out of there. You don't see that very often, but Godsent rerouting now towards a catwalk. ZywOo's here. He's missed his shots. Vitality, they know it's coming. They've pushed dark. They've got the info, but have they got the kills? RPK with shots, and these are shots that Vitality cannot afford to be missing. Godsent trying to make this one happen, and they've got it in the palm of their hand. Only Apex left up here in middle. He's been spotted. He's been flanked, and Godsent have found 11.
Yeah, that was a rather flat sort of attempt at hold and retake of the A site. ZywOo can't find his kill on the long. RPK can't hit the shots on the 2 players on Catwalk, who I believe are blind. So, still though, with 1 round to go, they are on track to pick up this map. Map pick of Godsent. Day number 18. Does it really feel like it's been that long though, guys? It feels like just yesterday.
Yesterday what?
That we just began.
What, Road to Rio or Pro League?
The Road to Rio, of course.
Hell yeah, Trace.
The rodeo in Rio. Speaking of the rodeo, what's Zen gonna have on Catwalk? He's only good to take down ZywOo. So that'll be an AK recovered.
I wonder if Shox is gonna, yeah, he throws that down into CT. Apex has grabbed it because he has the armor in this round. And so Apex is armed and dangerous here. Godsent falling back into a long play. And this is walking into the stack of Team Vitality. Shox is even waiting with a flashbang, but unfortunately, the flash never arrives. But I tell you who does, it's Madden up through ramp, putting 3 on the board. And a 12th about to arrive on that scoreline. That's a dink from Masuta onto Makalele. But doesn't finish the kill. And now he's getting hounded down. Stiko, he wants to pad those stats a little bit. And so 12 on the board for Godsent. You know, at the beginning of all of this, and we were saying, yeah, Godsent need 8 in a row, it didn't feel that likely. But now that we sit at 12-15, maybe, just maybe, this map still has an overtime on the cards.
And Trace, you say it feels like day 1. Well, yeah, that certainly holds true when we hit playoffs. I feel like everything resets there. And not only do things feel more fresh here, but they feel it in the server as well. Everyone knows how important each game is, and comebacks feel more attainable. Well, what have we got on our screen here? It's an attainable comeback by Godsent, making it happen on this T side. winning 7 out of the last 8 rounds. Fnatic holding a lead right now, looking to send us over the edge and take a train away from Movie Star Riders. That's on the B stream right now, but why would you want to take your eyes off of this prize, Vitality, buying up, trying not to throw away this map? Seemingly had it in the bag at 14 rounds up, but it's been some time. And Godsent have warmed into the game. Have they got any more? Back towards B with the flashbangs. Won't be committing though. Only throwing players down lower and keeping the pressure up. Getting rid of all that util so they can pressure mid and come in on the flank. No one here for Vitality. It's a gamble stack again on A. Crystal in a great position, but they've spotted him. They've got the info, so this flank has lost its worth, a lot of the weight of it. Godsent are going to come join middle, try and take control. They actually go back up the catwalk. What? ZywOo falls off of the top, but maybe no one had comnapped to him. He walks right into Crystal, who hits a shot. Now the cat play because Crystal is below, and Godsent have found Mizuta on the A site. This is a great strat by Godsent, and Vitality have fallen hook, line, and sinker.
Well, Apex is able to win a fight over on short. There's still a chance here, and with RPK, somehow he deals with Crystal as well. Apex left in the clutch, and Zen, 28 kills to his name, does not falter in the 1v1. 13 now on the board for Godsent. Once again, there's no money for Team Vitality. Oh
dear.
Boy, it might actually happen. It might actually happen.
It does smell a little bit like OT, but of course, some predictors out here did predict Vitality, and really that is the ultimate caster curse right there.
This was 14-5 in favor of Team Vitality. This game looked like it was going to be over. And I mean, really, like, this is nuts from Godsent to demonstrate this kind of resilience and the ability to make any game feel winnable. It's as you approach the latter stages, though, that the pressure becomes even more intense. Thankfully, none of these rounds have felt that competitive from Vitality just yet. Like, I know they get that last one down to a 1v1, but Zen looked like he had it under full control, and Godsent are just looking spurred on. That's the thing. Like, as each round has come in, they've been believing more and more. And, like, there's been that much more conviction in, like, how they're playing. They're just making these decisions on the fly and all grouping up, playing together. They're all on the same page. And suddenly, the same doesn't feel like it can be said for Vitality. Even in that rifle round, like, where ZywOo drops off of the catwalk, he almost didn't look ready for the player in CT, even though they knew the player in CT was there.
Haha. Godsent goes spur. We'll see if they can do it. See if they can get it over the line. This round is a lock-in. 14 for Godsent.
Hugh.
You sounded like the Microsoft narrator when you used to, like, type in.
Hugh. Raffle copy.
Trace, I think you should voice the paperclip from
The paperclip?
Word.
All right,
Yeah.
only if you guys voice Bixby.
I would love to be the voice of AI.
This is it, guys. This is the moment of truth. Round number 30. Overtime or Inferno? Where do we go? Probably the former, but...
Yeah, so as we were just saying, right, this was 14-5 to Vitality. Godsent now at round number 30 with the chance to take this to overtime after being 9 rounds behind. And with Vitality reaching map point first, you still needed to get 5 in a row if you were Godsent. You know, it was 15-10. Well, now they might actually do it. They're setting up over here towards B. They've had success here, but this time it's not Apex and Mizuta as it so often has been. It's Shox and Mizuta trying to hold the line, and they will trade it favorably for the time being. Shox is under pressure, but he takes one to the grave with him. Madden and Makalele, they get it into a 2-on-2. Apex dies in the double doors. Bomb plant now found, and Godsent, they have put in all this effort, all this work to get us to this point in time. And now we find out whether it's all in vain. It's all on the back of this 2-on-2. It's ZywOo and RPK on the other side, setting up, taking their time. These smokes now fade, and that safety blanket is gone for Godsent. In the door, Makalele drops a Molotov. Team Vitality go through. Madden doesn't know that both players are here. They spot him. He gets the first, but doesn't follow up on a ZywOo. And the defuse comes in. It's going to be close, but I think Vitality, yeah, they've got this one. 16 on the board. They win it out. We go the full 30 rounds from 10 to 5, all the way to round number 30. Godsent, they try so hard, but they can't get it over the line here in map number 1. And Team Vitality now sit 1-0 up with their map pick coming up next. You're going to have to wait around for that. Join us after a quick break.
Sorry that I didn't go to therapy. Thinking everybody even use an enemy. Brutally awake and quite undertaken. Did not do nothing wrong. Life isn't easy. Why did you leave me here to get drunk alone? And I don't wanna wake up messed up, 'cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I know I need you now, 'cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this. If I am so wrong and so gone, miserable, won't you stick around just for some be visible? But you don't, no you don't care. Leave me to suffer, erase all the doubt. Pouring Jack in my mouth, in a love with enough of the pain and the drugs to be present for now. All I might know, I don't wanna wake up messed up, 'cause I can't spend another day like this. Another type of caked up breakup, where I've been finding any way to my fix. But I know I need you now, 'cause I don't wanna be around. No, I don't wanna wake up messed up. There's gotta be another way past this.
Look into your eyes, I see the colors of your soul, and I recognize every single line, every single roadblock. We are two hearts that beat in time, and the towers looking down all night, blocking out the sun beneath. Maybe we can change our stripes and colors. You're the only one I see.
Things do go just about as you planned, where Vitality gave us the show, the excitement, and all of the action that we could have possibly hoped for there in the confines of Dust 2. But ultimately, it does not matter. Godsent lose that map, and Vitality pick it up after the last round. We had to go to all 30 to decide that one. And when I say we, I'm talking about these two, Harry and Hugo. And moreover, I'm talking about you out there in the audience watching us every single day on the road to Rio. I want to give you A, my gratitude, my appreciation, and B, invite you to join us over on Twitter using hashtag ESL1. Now, that's the only way to properly join the party other than spamming chat or counting to 10 in chat. Whatever you guys can do best, just kind of figure it out, and that's on you. For the time being, let's talk about Dust 2.
I notice you've changed outfit, Trace. You look
can't prove anything.
radiant here. And whenever we cut to you on the one shot, you are glowing.
Is it really bright? Oh, my God. Yikes. Anyways, so Godsent Godsent and Vitality, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I think what's kind of funny is how things change when we look at the stats and we look at that, maybe at halftime or even at 14-5 compared to the end of the game. When we look at the stats after, most kills, highest damage, most opening kills, most AWP kills, most assists, everything is in the favor of Godsent except for best rating. That was Shox's. But like we look at RPK, he was storming over that first half. That looked like it was going to be done in 20 rounds. But yeah, Vitality, they dropped the ball a little bit. Godsent have some nice B plays. They actually show us some really cool T-side rounds, some B fakes that they bail out of quickly and go back towards a cat take, around where they push Crystal into CT spawn and split A off the back of it. I actually like some of the ideas Godsent had there, but it doesn't go their way overall.
Yeah, I think like we got to see firsthand the downside of having like someone like Apex who is still unproven in this IGL role, right? Like, because when these comebacks start to happen, that's when you look towards your IGL to come up with a solution, because you can't just rely on the confidence and the momentum anymore, right? And I think that's where you kind of start to see the divide come in, because Godsent, they've got these leaders in the team. They've got players that were spurred on by the comeback. So when you had that momentum shift, it did feel like a bit of a lack of response from the Vitality side. And, the moment that confidence was kind of pulled out from underneath them, it did fall apart a little bit. So I think, it's a sad ending for Godsent for it to end the way that it did, right? To not pick that map up after going and looking like it was going to be over in like 20 rounds, right?
True.
You take it the full 30, but you don't get it across the line. Now I think Inferno is like a really kind of horrible zone to be in for Godsent. At the same time though, like you've got to be feeling a bit spurred on, right? Like if you could get that game to be that close, why can't you take Inferno?
Well, speaking of close games, Harry, I know you love this. I, for one, love this. I love the way that this is shaped out. Movie Star Riders. That's right. Just one round away from picking up the first map of that 11th, 12th place decider for the EU brackets. Fnatic, nonetheless, the one that they're beating on.
They were like 15-12 up, Fnatic, by the way, on CT side. They were in the lead. They were holding it, Trace, but it's all falling apart. It's all dropped the ball.
It is. And we're going to drop the music, and then we're going to come back with a little bit of more action here at the ESL One Road to Rio. A little bit more of this Vitality Godsent action when we return, everybody. Don't move. We'll BRB.
Love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
To be brilliant is to defy convention and challenge expectations. So Intel will bring the processing power for when it's time to go. Brilliant. Frame rates that keep up with your reflexes. Brilliant. Fast clock speeds for when you're on the clock. Brilliant. It's what we do at Intel, powering you to master your potential. Will you rise? Intel. Unleash your brilliance.
Last year, we took 2 lucky winners on a trip to Berlin and gave them the experience of a lifetime. This year, we can take you for a trip to Rio. Take part in a series of GG.bet contests for a chance to win awesome prizes and a trip to Rio. See details on the website.
Every single roadblock, we got 2 hearts that beat in time. And the towers looking down all night, blocking out the sun beneath. Maybe we can change our stripes and colors. You're the only one I see. And I take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night. And I take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night. Sleep of the dreams that I left behind. I don't even care now that I've discovered a new kind of peace of mind. Up above us, looking down on us, there's an angel I know. We don't need to worry or discuss much. It's time for me to hit the road. Take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night, sleep through the sunrise. Take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night. And I take it all or nothing at all. Driving through the night till I'm at your door. Go outside, stay up all night, sleep through the sunrise.
Sitting on a bench, waiting for the time to pass, dreaming of what happens next. I see what I wanna be, questioning my destiny, only knowing what I see. I don't even realize I've already made a path, and I can change it anytime, I can't take it back.
ESL 1 Road to Rio is brought to you in part by Intel, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and GG Bet.
Whether you're a fan of Godsent, whether you're a fan of Vitality, or you're just here because you're not sure that you can handle any more of the action that is Movie Star Riders taking on Fnatic, of course, in overtime, and now 17-18. Fnatic trying to wield their way back into it. Of course, if you look up here, a lot of dead body shooting.
Yeah.
That's JW. Shout out J-Dubs. And, of course, shout out to those in the server, Vitality and Godsent, where we find ourselves situated, currently within the lower bracket, guys. Now, the heat has been turned up. We know that Godsent took the fight to Vitality here on Dust 2, but when we look at the next map of the series, are we expecting them to keep that same sort of pace, that same sort of rhythm?
The pace of the first half, maybe not the pace of the second half of Vitality. This should be a lock-in, at least off of the numbers, right? Like Godsent, as Stika was talking about in the pre-game interview, 9 out of 10 times the last time they played Inferno, they've lost it. That's not a great stat line. That's not a great run. And Vitality, they've had no problem with this map. Think of Zywoo running up Banana with the AWP trace. You've even casted it yourself. He is a bit of a beast in Inferno.
Yeah, the only victory they've had was versus Team Spirit back at the Pro League. That was 16-9. And outside of that, you know, they've had like pretty close matches. They've always been able to put up double digits, and in a lot of them, it has been the full 30 rounds, but they just haven't been able to get it across the line. And for the most part, that is versus teams that I think you would consider to be, you know, I don't want to say like beneath Vitality, but, you know, like a more easy, even matched opponent. And yeah, you know, Vitality, they've been pretty hot on this map. So I don't know. I'm not really fancying Godsent's chances. However, I'm hoping they can kind of take the energy from how close they were able to get that first map, bring the heat in the second from the get-go, because as we've seen with this Vitality squad, if you pose them too many questions at once, the delay in the answer can be kind of jarring, and it can give you a way to get back in if you're Godsent.
Yes, it certainly certainly will give rounds to that opponent, which is not what we're looking to do here. We're going to give it to either Vitality or Godsent, and there isn't going to be any sort of bias. There's no sort of like, aligning ourselves over here with any of that. There is only strict commentary and only the serious of memes. Now, I don't even know what a good meme to go with today is, but perhaps you do. Let me know. Hashtag ESL1. I want to see it. Give me a meme about this matchup, because so far, Vitality are taking it to Godsent. We jump into map 2 of Inferno, and the pistol round is underway. And for the side of Godsent, it looks like they want to play a heavy A.
Yeah, Vitality starting T-sided on this map. It is, of course, their pick, so Godsent get the choice, but let's see if this works in their favor. Stiko's got the spot. He sees a player close second, and the bomb is in middle right now. Passive B play with 4 on the A site for Godsent, fighting towards the short side. And they're going to get some fights as well. Stiko's reaggressed, and he's going to be meeting Mizuta in the apartments. Michael Ellie with first blood, dropping RPK down middle. And he'll fall back into a more passive setup as Godsent have this advantage. Vitality, plenty of utility. If they want, they can go back to B and execute there into just a solo man, but they seemed interested by the A site.
Well, even Crystal has some utility to try to hold them back a little bit, and I just want to know if you guys ever hold back once you find out you're wearing the same clothing arrangement. You two, that is.
Never. We love matching. My shoes match Harry's jacket.
And as does his jacket match my jacket.
Not his shoes, though.
No, my shoes are different.
Working on that.
Nice, guys.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Team Vitality. They're going to try and get in towards this B-bomb site. Not so much one day, more here and now. And Makalele landing one taps down on the cross. Does leave this in a 2-on-5 to try and keep it good. For Team Vitality, Apex has somehow doubled up, but Stiko comes in and alleviates all that pressure.
All that is for Vitality is a bit of a fake, a bit of a ruse, right? They throw these pit smokes that isolate the pit, and anyone from the site can't see inside of it. And I think what they're trying to do is feign that someone's dropped out of apps into the pit play, and then they go back for a B execute. But because Godsent have Zen on the balcony, he goes, nah, guys, no one's in the pit. It's just smokes, innit? And, well, Godsent stack B. They rotate everyone over there, and they kill Vitality. I think, obviously, losing that first player down mid didn't help. Maybe Vitality wanted to use that player to get him into the pit. Maybe it was a crucial part of the fake. I don't actually know. So that certainly doesn't help them in that pistol round, and now they've got to take an eco in the second. Godsent armed well. It should be them going 2-0 up with ease, as Vitality haven't put a dollar into this round.
Well, we just received like a little question tweet,
Oh,
Hugo,
did
and I'd
we?
love to pose this to you guys and hear your thoughts on it, given that this is an anti-eco and it should be laid to rest pretty easily.
Well, say the question, Harry, quick.
In light of the recent Krieg nerf, why is it so important that the AK and M4 remain the most dominant guns in CSGO? And that's from Derg _OW, which I guess is
Why must the AK
Overwatch.
and M4 remain the most? I don't think that's the reason for the nerf, is that if that's the implication.
No, yeah, I think it was more that the Krieg was so powerful. Like, the AK and the M4 are pretty perfectly balanced guns, I think, when you look at them and how they play into the game, because it's been pretty similar throughout every iteration of Counter-Strike, whereas the Krieg was like a real anomaly for how much money you could spend on it versus how good it was in comparison to the other guns. I don't think it's balancing around the M4 and AK so much as it's just like acknowledging that they are like a good weapon, and the Krieg was just too strong for what it was. Now, here's an A play from Team Vitality. Maybe that's something we can look into later. RPK does deal with Madden to open this round up. Zaiwu is going to get bested there by Crystal. Apex comes in with a bit of a response, however. And Masuta and Shox all get dealt with by Stiko before he gets put to an ending. But these fights are still continuing over in CT. My goodness, the bomb now belongs to Makalele. And he's not content with just sitting on it. He's actually looking for this duel with RPK. And with good reason, he puts him in the grave. Godsent go 3-0 up. And this CT side is off to a rip-roaring start here for the Godsent crew.
Yeah, very brawly, and that's kind of what I like, right? If you want to beat Vitality, you've got to brawl them, you've got to take the fight to them. And Stiko does by hunting them down in spawn. Finding 2 kills lining up as well. Even further aggressive after spotting the bomb. Michaelelli finding RPK coming back up Banana, and that is the lead locked for Godsent. What was initially a pretty favorable round for Vitality, actually out the archway with the advantage in a 5-on-4, in a 4-on-3, but trades are good for Godsent. Vitality on a full eco here with just Deegs and PT50s. Apex has a bit of Kevlar, but that's all
wishful thinking.
At best. Godsent, they talk about how, or at least Tico did earlier, how, you know, to explain the statistics on this map, the numbers, about how, you know, Inferno, typically good in prac, not so much in officials. And of course, officials is where it matters, right? Like, it doesn't matter how good something is in prac if you can't do it, you know, when money's on the line. But, you know, right now, 3-0, we know that Godsent are comfortable in this map, and they at least have ideas. Right now, those ideas are working.
And you know, the weirdest part is, and this has happened to teams in the past, hell, it happened to us at C9. We'd have the best of boot camps. We'd have really impactful, we'd, you know, be, of course, if you want to say it this way, winning all our scrims.
Yeah.
You know, there was just a sheer amount of things that we were getting done within boot camps. You show up, and then you become Cloud9. You become, you know, pretty much that
What do you think that is, Trace? I don't know if you have any insight, but like when you're on this roll and everyone's feeling good and the comms are flowing and everyone's playing well and your scrims are good, and then you go to a tournament and you get, you know, 12 to 13. Like, how does that happen? How does that feel?
Truth be told, as this round kind of ends itself out, I mean, we're looking at the B-bomb site just real quickly here, and there's only 2 players alive for Vitality, make it just 1. I think it's more along the lines of practicing how you're going to play. You know, if you're in scrims, if you're goofing around, if you're pushing and doing unorthodox things, once, twice, 3 times, yeah, it's okay. You can see what works. Maybe that makes sense. But when you turn entire scrims into, we need to win this rather than learn from it, that's not good enough. So overall, though, I think a lot of it just comes down to practicing how you play and applying that in traditional senses.
I always wondered if maybe some of it as well was like down to, do you think you ever get that feeling of, oh man, well in prac we're so sick, and now, like, you know, it's just not translating over. Like, does that creep into it in the sense that you kind of, the nade stack is brutal.
Yeah, double nade, even at that. Crystal with 2.
Oh,
and they're going to
there's another
continue
nade.
raining
Get out,
grenades.
Banana. Team Vitality, it's not safe. The airstrikes, they've got your position. Just stay away.
Yep, Godsent got the club going up on a Tuesday. Ain't that for sure. Pyrotechnics in the building. Makaleli. It's going to get shouted out here from Mizuta. Mizuta's trying to push him. Easy does it with the AK. And now, an interesting situation is no Godsent players have vision on middle. This bomb being trapped all the way back in the hands of Shox. He might even consider just walking up to B, depending how much of a fight that Mizuta can pull in A. Now, that's not going to be the case. They haven't sniffed out Mizuta just yet, but Shox is working his way up slowly. If he decides to go towards the archway, that's going to prove to be a big problem.
Yeah, him taking time has made Godsent rotate back, which is cool. But the issue is, it's not like Mizuta can get any fights. He smoked himself off on long. So while that smoke is now faded, Godsent, because everything's gone quiet, because everything's just stopped, they don't want to move. They don't want to make a mistake. And this is a good call from Godsent. Let Vitality play a retake as a team. Madden rather is in B. And so there's at least going to be a chance for Vitality to win this 2-on-2 on the A site, assuming they don't wait around. Crystal isn't. He's going aggressive. Molotov won't be thrown. He takes the apartments instead silently. It's a good position to deal with Mizuta in the graveyard, but he can pop out when he pleases. We'll see how this fight goes on later on as Madden comes in from library as well.
Yeah, it looked like there was a timing where Crystal was just going to try and hero this, but now they've set up for this 3-pronged approach on the retake. So they're really trying to use this man advantage in their favor, and they molly Mizuta out. He does take one to the grave with him. Shox holding down the angle at long, and now looking for Crystal, dodging these bullets, hiding, not giving anything up. It's whack-a-mole inside of the site, but this time the mole whacks back. It's 3 on the board for Shox, 2 for Mizuta, and Team Vitality, they're able to win that one out, putting their first T-side round up on the board.
Better late than never. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Great grenades, considering that was this round as well, right? Like, Vitality win this, you know, in a 2-on-5, essentially, losing so many fights early on. Shox get to pick up middle in, you know, the time that all his team are dying in Banana. So I guess a 2-on-4 in that sense, but the kills coming from just 2 men and 2 men alone. Mizuta and Shox make it happen. Godsent's money is fine right now, but if they lose this round, they'll be on eco. So this one's key if they want to keep streaking together CT rounds. If not, then things are going to get a little more brawly, a little more back and forth. And that's what Vitality wants.
Oh, Adding an tempt fate with this aggression, looking for an opener, and he gets blinded on the peak. Stellar flash from Apex to allow RPK that frag, and he continues his reign of terror over towards the B site. These flashes are good for either side, though, and ZywOo will get taken care of on his lurk in the apartments. But RPK, the tank, doing as tanks do, which is just laying waste to absolutely everything over towards his B side of the map.
Ooh.
Zen will land a nice shot onto Masuta, and this leaves Godsent in a 2-on-3. They might be a bit tempted to see what's offered to them in this situation, but I really don't see them hard committing to this retake. The money is bottomed out for Godsent, and they want to keep this lead up if they can. So they're going to allow Vitality this second round on the board.
Vitality didn't even plan on hitting B in that round. I think they just got the kill on the AWP, and yeah, RBK went, yeah, I'm just going to keep going here. I'm going to keep running into the site. Crystal throws a smoke, caught with a flash in hand. RBK insta-peeks him and wins the round for Vitality. The bomb takes its sweet time as it was dropped left back in T-ramp, but they get it there with no issue. Godsent don't fight down middle other than that AWP on Zen, which misses the timing by a few seconds. Nice round for Vitality, specifically RBK, who gets it all done.
It's wild when you think about the fact that RPK, 30 years old, is playing some of the best CS he's played in recent memory, it feels like, man. He's been nuts in a lot of these Vitality games.
You saying 30's old, guys?
No, but it's just that, you know, like, and this is a discussion that we have quite a lot, that you don't really, like, know the lifespan of a pro career, right? You don't know how...
Yeah, I guess in Westworld, perhaps.
When they hit their 30s, man, I mean, they can just be replaced by one of those up-and-coming 20-something-year-olds.
Well, I was
what
just
do you
going to
think,
say that kind of like, you know, those 22, 21-year-olds, actually, they're kind of, inseparable, really. They're kind of like the same in a lot of different ways. They all sound the same. All their mixtapes the same. Lyrical concepts are the same. Really, the puns are the same even, too.
Get him out of here then, Trace. Fire it. We don't want to... RPK, you don't want him either. Get the 20s out of here.
30s are the best, by the way. Anyway, that is what we see. Vitality taking Banana by storm. That's left Maiden by himself over here. And now a rotation will come in, but it's not going to be that AK. They're going to leave Seek over to his own over on the A site. But ultimately 5 alive. Even Vitality aren't entirely sure when they want to stack their chips. Meanwhile, you'll thank me when you are 30. I'm not sure for what, but you will.
Well, we're going to stack our crisps in this B bomb site right now as Vitality, they want to crunch down on these 2 CTs. It's a rotate round, coffin side. We got Stiko here as well. Notice the bomb isn't here, and Vitality is trying to feel out the round, feel out the site. It's a double peek, it's a fight that goes the way of Godsent, and that will send Vitality right back into A. Really, really nice call from Apex, not committing heavily. You do give a gun over, and that AWP has been saved back. That was Zen's from earlier, but, you know, that's not a worry, really. Vitality going to win the round, and Godsent are here to save. Apex won't let them escape either. So, in the back of your mind, if you are Vitality, you can hunt here. You've got the money for it.
And if you are one of those Harrys or Hugos of the world, you're looking at this and you're thinking, you know, Godsent, there's absolutely no way. So that save is going to be what happens. This boomer generation ultimately doesn't have a grasp on it, do they, Harry and Hugo? You guys are boomers, right? Zoomers, even?
I don't even know, really.
I actually don't know the difference. No. I'm just me, you know, like, not a boomer, not a zoomer, not even whatever the other options are.
Not even got humor.
Nah, maybe not, actually.
I mean, you guys are, you're pretty ripe, if you know what I'm saying.
Ripe.
Right.
We're like the Chuckle Brothers of esports.
I was thinking more of like...
That's actually far too complimentary to us.
Yeah, definitely.
We're like the Pippin and Merry of esports from Lord of the Rings.
I don't know who that is. That's,
the Mary Poppins of esports.
Mary Poppins of esports. Yeah, that is the one. That is the one.
Spoonful of sugar. And all that good jazz.
Yep. The Mary Poppins of esports, a.k.a. Harry and Hugo Russell. Same last name, of course.
Are we married or siblings?
Why not both? Stiko over here towards
the Alabama Classic.
Throwing some nades early on now as Team Vitality
of course.
Trying to grab this top mid control, and they are looking to get in. While you two have a bit of a lover's quarrel, there is a quarrel going on over towards top mid as well, and this fight really yet to get geared up. ZywOo is holding. He's about to go full James Bond as well, which is a scoreline you never thought you'd see ZywOo get to.
Okay, Zoomer.
3 ADR. Oof.
He has been having a real rough time, and you know, like AWP in T-side Inferno, I can't think. Yeah, we've seen him have one AWP thus far over on the T side. This will be his second, and the last time he just got full flashed and dealt with.
Also,
T-side
lots of
AWPing, never very
grenades
fun.
in Banana as well. We've had Vitality just kind of get blown up in a few of these rounds. For now, it goes silent. Vitality still making their mind up, it seems. Be often an easy target, and that's why Godsent have put 3 CTs on defense here. They made a bit of a call. The gamble is in. Michaelele waiting with the orb, should get smoked off here. You can play timing shot. There's always a good chance you can hit these, but it won't connect. Milliseconds away, maybe. Madden at the back of the bomb site, dropping the package. There's 20 seconds left. Apex gets 1, but they haven't cleared out Crystal. He's got 3. ZywOo trades, but he needs a clutch today. He's got himself a second. There's still going to be 2 rotators coming in off that A site. ZywOo on his second kill of the round, faking it out with 10 seconds. He doesn't have time for this. Got to commit to the plant, and he will do it the second time around. It's going to be Stiko in the spawn, Zen and Banana, ZywOo in a 1-on-2.
Yeah, he's happy he can get the new box. At least there he feels like he might have a fighting chance. We're looking at 2 flashes. Maybe some stuff will be picked up here. But ZywOo finds the first kill on the Stiko. That creates us a 1v1. Zen has been hot on the trigger and will look to capitalize over ZywOo. They're going to dance around new box a little bit. Winning it out is going to be Zen. He's going to get a defuse. Albeit he didn't have a kit, it will not matter.
Every timing ZywOo hits there on those jiggles, right? He checks Coffin, Zen walks out Banana, he checks Banana, Zen's walking to Coffin, he checks Coffin, Zen's almost about to peek him, he checks Banana. You know, it doesn't get more unlucky there for ZywOo. Very nice try. 3 kills in the round, the double entry to trade onto Crystal, the kill onto the player in Coffins as well. Still all going to be in vain. It's still going to be a 5th for Godsent, who actually showing up on this map, right? Like said, you know, 9 out of 10 times they've played this map, they've lost it. But they have been close games. They have been competitive. We know Godsent can put up a fight. It's just whether they have it in them to close out the map. We'll see. We're a long way away from that right now. Vitality at least hard pressed to put rounds on the board. 5-3. And an AWP down Banana shows its hand. Mizuta has a Mac 10. And he's taking it into the apartments with the bomb following as well. We could see a fast pit drop. We know Vitality have these execute smokes. We saw them from them in the past. So what's the plan? Good grenade from Godsent.
Oh, Stiko trying to get out of danger, trying to leave himself out of harm's way, but harm finds a way to him in the form of Apex there. And Masuta, they mop up this A bomb site. They've got this round dead to rights on the Vitality side. And for Crystal, left in a 1v4, all he can really hope to do is get out of this round with a weapon. That really is the best case scenario for him here. I mean, I say that. There is a temporary 1v2 available at the A site. Not that Crystal is ever to know this is the case. But Vitality are already very, very geared towards hunting him down. Crystal, is he going to attempt like to sneak into this site? I don't know. He's still hanging around, but if there ever was around for a ninja defuse, it's right now. Like, no one is there. No one is home, Crystal. But obviously, he's not to know this. So, a heartbreaking ninja defuse that could have happened, that never did happen. And Team Vitality putting a 4th round on the board.
Yeah, I like that pit drop, the apps play from Vitality, put a Mac 10 in the front, flash it out over Moto, and just let it wreak havoc. Vitality do that. Quick up short side, and a 4th round taken. They've actually broken the money of Godsent as well. That's why this save was important for Godsent. Would have been nice if Crystal could find an AK, but beggars cannot be choosers. So Godsent will choose to beg for mercy here as they have an eco round.
Choosing to beg. Not a likely strategy across the board, however. Mizuta taking down Zen. Also, a ton of information here. Stiko might have heard that, minus the roar of what the Molotov was. Now it's Vitality. They've taken over this arch side. They're 5 deep over here, too. Apex looking behind him, catches Stiko, checking down middle. Crystal is going to have a response of his own, and Shox is almost taken out. That almost creates a big, big issue for Vitality, who now find themselves with complete control of the A site. ZywOo, of course, shooting through the smokes, shooting through the walls.
I just love the kill feed icons. I didn't think I would be such a fan of them, but now that they're here, now that they're here, it's so great. You can contextualize so many kills. If you're not watching as well and you see something go down, you can work out from the icons where it was, what happened, how they did it. It just provides so much more context.
Yeah, there's so many times, right? Especially like as site takes are coming in, where like someone will die and you'll be like, oh, did he see him, or like was that through a smoke? Like was that a no scope, or you know, like and now we just know all of that without even having to catch the kill the first time around. It's great. Crystal, don't spend too much time bird watching. He's actually protecting his little feathered friend here in the ruins. That's a good guy Crystal move right there. So many pros, man, they vent their frustrations into the wildlife on the maps. That's why like there's no more wildlife outside of the chickens. The rest have just been hunted to extinction by the pros in the server.
Used to be like goats.
Dude, there was everything. Yeah, Velociraptors, one of my favorite, you know, like recently extinct animals.
Yeah, humans, man. I'm sick and tired of how they stopped Velociraptors and dodos.
Ahead of their time, man. Like 2020 could have been the year
of the Velociraptor.
I don't think we need any more danger.
We've got enough problems.
Looking over here towards Banana, there is a jump peek over the top to try and spot him. Madden actually going aggressive here. Getting set up, these nades finding damage. ZywOo is brought down very, very low through that smoke. And Crystal, well, he's made a home. He's set up a little tent inside of the... Oh, there's an intruder, but he actually goes around Crystal. Oh, there it is. Masuta realizes something's up. I didn't hit the wall. It was a lot more fleshy. And, well, that's the kill found now through the smoke. Zen falls as well. Madden tries to make a stand. Stiko will deal with shocks at the very least, but it's a 2-on-4. This is feeling and looking, and now likely is a save for Godsent. 6 on the board for Team Vitality.
And they even had the triple B as well. Godsent, they've been good on the reads, they've been good on the rotates, but Vitality just smoke shots to the man in the spawn. They clear out Madden at the back of the B bomb site, and with only 1 kill in the round for Godsent, it is an unequivocal save. Michaelele might not even get away. Oh, that's quick. Turns right back around after checking the stairwell. Sees ZywOo there, who only had 8 health as well. He was looking for that kill desperately. Orb for your Michaelele has got another. They are just hand delivering them to his doorstep. And he might have a couple more fights at that as well.
It's Vitality putting up a singular round. Michaelele, well, he's not going to be holding on to that AWP.
Worth it. Always worth the hunt there. Vitality have full money, right? They have so much cash. It's been 3 in a row now after that round. Definitely worth the hunt. And they get ZywOo's all back anyway, right? They just lose a couple of rifles in the midst of things. That's it. It's not a worry for Vitality. You know now that the buy is going to be gone for Godsent. They've got to take an eco. They won't have any weapons or rifles around this. Actually, I say that. Madden will buy a gun, but that's the only weapon in the round for Godsent.
Big shots there from Mayday. He takes out Apex in what is rather cheaply invested round here for Godsent.
Yeah, do they want to stay with the stack? Madden's rotated the rifle, which is definitely the right call here for Godsent, but they've actually kept 3 in position and gone for the boost up. Actually, rather not. Yeah, Michaelele at the back of B. Thought so. 1 smoke left up. Vitality are about to execute. They won't commit with that 1 CT smoke. They're trying to use it as a fake now, and they've got 2 more to come in with the actual commitment. Obviously, still a man down in this round. Masuta is holding that rotation in middle. He's not going to get any kills from this position, so Vitality will need to fight tooth and nail past these pistols in the B-bomb site.
Yeah, Masuta's worth not going to be shown until these rotations come through. And he'll be able to cut those down before they move into position. These mollies go into the site now. No one forced out of position here for the side of Godsent. Crystal has drawn the attention of Vitality in. And Zen waiting ever so patiently, only good for 1 up on the boost. It all falls onto Madden with this hero M4. In a 1v3, there's a temporary 1v2 at the B site, and he is wary of that. However, ZywOo has made this round very, very tricky. 3 points of health for Madden, and ZywOo is going to finish off the job. The 3rd time around, 3rd time is a charm, as 3 kills in the server for ZywOo there as well. And 7 now on the board for Team Vitality. who is starting to pull ahead in the latter stages of this first half.
Mizuta gets a kill on that rotate as well, right? We don't see it because it's during the execute, but he catches, I think it was Stiko rather, right, rotating off of A. He jumped out of apps, and Mizuta gets him in second. So I love watching teams play that spot as like a lurk, as a rotate role. It's so little risk and such high reward. You can always call your players out of B as well if you get 2 kills, for example. If Godsent give you that at least, but they're not going to. Right now, only 2 on A for Godsent. So if Vitality go quick, they've got that in their hand, but Godsent have already started to pull Zen back through this spawn. Stiko, oh yeah, that's not going to work, buddy. Pushing through this smoke from Vitality had already taken the bedroom. I guess he didn't know that one as Apex doubles up with 2 kills. He's going to run right through the site with a 3rd, and Apex, he may be in-game leading, but he's also leading as he finds 3 in the site.
That is the case, and with the bomb planted for Vitality, that decision for Godsent shouldn't be so hard. They do find a kill on the way out there in the form of Apex, but it's RPK who's really trying to tank his way into this one. Can't even land that shot, which does create not much of a problem. Vitality certainly will be taking this round to the bank and cashing it there in for their 8th on the board. They did pick up the first map, but that one, well, that one, I don't know, man. Harry, I look at that first map and I think, wow, how did this end up so damn close?
Well, Godsent were able to show us a lot of resilience, right? It was a 10-5 half of Vitality back on the T side of Dust. And this Inferno game looks like it could go in a similar fashion with an 8th on the board. It's very important that Crystal gets away with this M4. So the fact that he stays alive there, is able to best shots, that's nice for Godsent, because otherwise they would have had absolutely nothing here. With 8 on the board for Vitality and a full eco looming, that round was already as good as lost. So now for Godsent, at least they can offer up some resistance here. They get this investment in around the rifle. It's not going to be pitch perfect, right? You see Zen and Makalele both relegated down to a UMP and a Deagle respectively. But this is still a lot more to offer than if they'd lost everything at the end of that round. It probably would have just been a partial buy here for Godsent.
This time they actually have 3 early as well, just because of the potential of that fast play again from Vitality, getting ahead of the triple B. If you know you've been beating up, that's ridiculous. If you know you've been beating up the B site, you know teams are going to lean towards it. So it's always good to throw in a quick A approach every now and then. Crystal, that is a heroic move. Walking through a smoke and killing Zywoo in T-spawn. He will fire back, and I think that's where you draw the line, because Apex takes him down through the smoke. Vitality getting away back into this round. Now Apex, if he gets another here, if he kills Madden in the corner, this is B open for the taking. Shox is putting a bit of hurt on A right now, but Apex is dead at the top of B, and the bomb's been dropped back down middle. Mizuta needs that and the 1-on-2. Did he spot the short-sided player as he came around the corner? I don't think so. And he won't be ready for Madden push this deep banana either. Oh dear, pressure coming from the flank as well. Mizuta, every shot he fires draws his flank in, and it will draw it out of the round. Godsent with 6. And they find a round with not a lot, a pistol and a UMP with a couple of rifles, but it makes it happen. They make it happen.
There's just not much of a chance for you there at that headshot angle from the little pit. Obviously, as you can see, is the last kill of the round. You don't even really see this guy, and he just straight up wrecks you. So
yeah, that was a round that, you know, Vitality shouldn't be winning anyway, considering how it started, right? Madden with a smoke shot, Crystal with a smoke walk, and a 5-on-3 initially. Vitality was out of their hand from the get-go. Or will they go get Godsent as they set up towards apartments very quickly?
Yeah, but this bomb not in tow, not yet. Apex not going to join the rest of the gang in the apartments. And now actually going to join the gang over in the apartments is Apex. No, he's not. He's going through the lower tunnel.
Give up.
He's listening in, and he's trying to prove me wrong. I do still think this feels like it could culminate in a B play, right? Like the fact you've been holding on to the bottom of Banana, you've been waiting so patiently, the bomb is still back there. I think Team Vitality, you're going to see how successful this 3-man push is into the top of mid. However, Stiko has caught himself a stellar timing here in through the apartment. Zywoo gets blindsided, and even while the trade does come in, That's actually pretty good for Vitality because they try and pick up the pace over here towards A, and they do it as these players were rotating away on the back of the info that Stiko gained. Now that kill onto Masuta has flipped this back in favor of Godsent. RPK, here's the rotations away from B and back into CT. So Shox is ready for Madden ahead of time. Cuts him down. Crystal now getting sandwiched from both the Banana and CT spawn, was able to deal with RPK. This is a very messy round. Vitality are trapped. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Shox has 10 seconds to clear the site and he can't do it. So Godsent, they split this half evenly as they can. 7 on the board, 8 for Vitality, and a second half still to come. So join us after a quick break for that.
Sitting on a bench, waiting for the time to pass, dreaming of what happens next. I see what I wanna be, questioning my destiny, only knowing what I see. I don't even realize I've already made a path, and I can change it anytime. I can't take it back. I know what I want, but it seems so damn far away. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. And you say you wanna be somebody. You got a voice, then you better use it. Tell yourself day after day it's time to prove it. No days off, keep the hustle moving. Wanna see you be what you wanted to be, prove it. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. I know I sound crazy to the ones who said oh. I know I empower those who dream like me. And you say you wanna be somebody. You say you wanna be somebody. And you say you wanna be somebody. And you say you wanna be somebody.
We've already taken it to the edge, and we already feel alive. So thank you very much for that. Don't you worry. I really like that part of the whole song. But either way, we are alive, and we are, moreover, live inside of the game itself. Godsent and Vitality squaring off in the bracket stage, and the losers bracket at that. And so now we're going to see what happens here in the pistol round. And the first map goes Vitality's way, but they have to work hard for it. They have to work real hard for it.
Yeah, the grind does not stop. 8 rounds on T side, though, is definitely enough for Vitality, right? Like, they should be feeling confident right now, but making a bit of a gamble with the pistol. Apex has come back to be on his own. He's got a smoke, and he'll need it. Godsent here with the bomb and banana. Full armor for Godsent as well. Not a bit of utility apart from these little decoys they'll be using to fake out. Oh, will they burn utility? Will Apex see these and throw his own grenade? No, he knows they're a decoy. He's not going to fall for it, but he's already beginning to peel back. With those decoys going over, it almost screams we're not coming B, and he thinks that as well. Vitality quad on this A site, ready for the fight.
Oh, Sharks here. And trying to respond. Now falls back, just goes through the motions, getting into CT, and he's still alive, dropping that Molotov. Gonna buy that much more time. And then amongst all of this, all the kills found for the rest of the guys back in the site. Now Madden needs the ace here in a 1v3, but he has been afforded a route through CT spawn, lands a bit of a parting gift onto Shoxy. And Madden now, B site belongs to him. It's a free bomb plant. They know that Zaiwu and Masuta was spotted over at A because they put up 3 kills during that attempted wrap. Madden needing the ace. Oh, another! And just one man stands between him and a pistol round, but Masuta able to put the kill up on the board. It's 9 for Team Vitality.
Now, those fake smokes and the decoys don't work, but I've seen them work in a pro game, and you could definitely catch players off with it. But what I love about the pistol round for Godsent is, even though, you know, you're on full armor, throwing decoys, especially in a tight choke point like Inferno mid or up to long side, can actually really offset the aim of your opponent. And the idea of buying 4 or 5 decoys and using them as fake flashes to initiate contact on tight choke points is a really good idea, and I want to see more of that.
I want to see more decoy usage.
I want to see more decoy usage. So that's my little, homework for you
don't
guys.
necessarily like, because Henry Greer, Mr. Greer, has been a big advocate of this as well, and you know, it was something that I think people try and do, but ever since, well, hang on a moment, we'll see how this pans out. It's a push down through mid. And this was the force buy attempted from Godsent, but you wouldn't know that in the results. Team Vitality get a 10th. But yeah, since we've been in the server and messing around with the decoys a lot more, trying to actively use them as like fake flashes, there's certainly like some nice little tricks you can get out there. Obviously, like the other benefit is that flash will never pop. So all you're having to do is just like get the player to turn around, right? To play anti-flash. One of the places that I think it's really great is pop on train. If you drop a decoy down and go down with it, so often, and you can try this in pugs, the guy holding pop will turn away, anticipating it's a flash peek, and it's not. It's a decoy. And there's no greater feeling than rumbling someone like that. It's another force buy in this round from Godsent. They've thrown AKs into the mix, and Team Vitality were not ready for this much resistance in middle. Shox, the weight of the world now on his shoulders as this entire A bomb site falls to him and him alone to try and hold the line. He does put up a second, and a third. So he's done a fantastic job. A 2-on-2 delivered to Team Vitality, courtesy of Courier Shox. And now Apex and Masuta left to finish the job.
Oh, but the read is there. He reads the play from the pit and finds a second in the site as well. Madden and Crystal falling. And Masuta getting the 1-on-2. Well, I say 1-on-2. Apex was there as well. Not really needed. You couldn't tell. And Harry, you said it right. Vitality did not expect that force buy. They fight mid with a Bison at the start of the round, and they just get obliterated by the AKs. And look what's happened again. Godsent have gone for the force buy, taking all these risks as they at least found 3 kills in the previous round. They know the money is low, but the buy is good, and that's always a danger, right? Godsent know they can reset Vitality, but the hardest part is resetting Vitality, because an AWP and 4 rifles into this round, oof. Luckily, Godsent's buy is pretty good as well, right? It's just lacking that utility, which can be a bit of a problem on T-side Inferno, but let's see what they can do without it. Crystal running towards B through the Molotov, spots in CT, but he gets nothing from it, and pushed back by the utility of Vitality will give them the control towards the top of B once again. Godsent have got to concede that, but so will the Frenchmen, as they call for a 3rd rotation that does not come through. Shox will double back towards A. B's gone silent, the whole map has, and Zaiwu spopped one towards middle, but won't get the connecting kill. Falling back to the apps play, and Stiko dropped as well. Did catch Zaiwu off guard on that position, but only 50 damage done to the man. And as long as he has a point of health left up, he's still lethal.
RPK flashes himself in, and actually is able to remove one. Zaiwu swinging out from the side of Long does actually get bested by the MAC-10, and this A site now belongs to Godsent. It's a 3-on-2 for Team Vitality this time around. Shock's going to go up into the apartments, but he has to go toe-to-toe with Crystal. He's able to win that fight, and now it's Zen in the graveyard, 1v3. A hell of a lot to do from this position, and the Incendiary on Shocks could make all the difference. It goes into the pit, but the peak does not go Zen's way. A 12th on the board for Vitality. They get that 3v2 retake off. They don't lose a man in the process, and they really are looking to pull out ahead in this series as they already sit 1-0 up after a hard-fought 16-14 victory back on Dust.
Shocks are getting that kill in apartments into Crystal and then doubling back is great. The whole time Zen's in that clutch, he's thinking about the apartments. He's aiming at the apartments, and that's the kill he wants. He goes for a bit of a jiggle to set up for it, and it gives away his barrel towards the two short players, one of which, by the way, is Shocks, after faking out his position for the death cam. So good call from Vitality.
Yeah, and you know, just looking through some of the numbers coming up into this event, through the tournament, it's been the opening kills that have ran the way for Vitality 71.4% of the time.
And you can see why, Trace.
Yeah, it's showing right here. And it continues. It's not so much that you need the opening frags on your T side as much as you'd love to win your CT-sided opening duels, you know, when you're obviously flipped.
So we're peeking Banana and finding 2 AWP headshots. That'll do it for you. That will certainly be some opening jewels for Vitality. Oh dear, Stiko, hot water, hot fire, and a 13th rather found by Vitality. They are looking very, very prepared, very comfortable on the CT side. This is how Dust 2 sort of went, right? Like you know, it wasn't an equal half, it was 5-10, but a pretty close half. And then Vitality just stormed 5 CT rounds in a row. They push us to the edge. Last time
side of that really feel like they've had ever the complete collection here, and this round when they finally are relegated down to pistols, actually does get dealt with by Madden, and now the wrap comes in from Apex 1 by 1. The remaining players for Godsent fall. Madden left up in a 1v3. 26 kills to his name. He's having a stellar game right now, but this is asking a hell of a lot from someone on 6 HP. Might be able to retrieve ZywOo's AWP. And if ZywOo's AWP is enchanted with the usual mystical powers it is, maybe there's a chance for Madden here. He's got to be ready for the man in graveyard, and he is not. Shocks able to deal with him. The AWP chooses the AWPer, and not the other way around.
Yeah, it's the only fair way to go about it.
Wow, that's some kind of wizardry, Harry. I don't know where that came from.
You're a wizard, Harry.
But I'm just Harry.
You're a wizard, boy. Anyway,
God's
that's
sake,
Harry's
Hagrid.
life. We are kind of laughing at now. And
it's great. Harry gets that everywhere he goes. I get Hugo Boss everywhere I go. So, you know, that's original.
Okay.
Not heard
Richie
that one
Rich.
before. Fast banana push. Shocks. That's a ballsy play. Punished for it. ZywOo does trade though, so it's still a 4-on-4. Crystal, oh, he wants to beat them to the punch. Instead, he gets punched and beaten by the AWP. 2 left for Godsent. Blink and you miss it. This round might just be coming to a close, and ZywOo wants it so. He's found the bomb in mid. He's left Madden on his own, and Madden, he may have been quiet in Dust 2. Inferno has been excellent for him, but unfortunately, it's all in vain. It's a 1-on-4, and you don't even have the bomb.
Well, Madden been the king of almost clutches here for Godsent. But this one might be a clutch too far. He would need to take 31 kills in total after 4K'ing this round in order to pick it up for Godsent and deny match point to Team Vitality. And it's not going to happen. Madden shut out Team Vitality, 15 rounds on the board, and one more round decides Godsent's fate here at the road to Rio. Will they keep on fighting, or is this the end of the line for the Godsent crew?
Yeah, a lot of eyeballs, especially if you look at this round.
And also, that's something that I feel like, we do need to remind people of, because a lot of these games thus far have been a part of the round-robin group stage. You've been used to seeing a team show up, play a game, doesn't go their way, but they play again tomorrow. Well, that's not true for Godsent here. If they don't pull this back, then their time at the Road to Rio draws to a close. Of course, finding themselves down here in the lower bracket of the playoffs. They've only got one lifeline, and Team Vitality, they are looking to cut it short.
Yes, indeed.
Lots of damage done by Apex over at the top of Banana. Rotation coming in from ZywOo. Stiko alone in the apartments has just been spotted by RPK, and he was ready and raring to go. Man advantage for Vitality. 3 players left standing on this Godsent side. It's Makalele, Crystal, and Madden to try and do the damage. Madden opens up, but there's a swift response from ZywOo. The remaining 2 trickling into this bomb site. ZywOo trying to hold the line, trying to buy time for these rotations from the rest of Vitality. They tap the bomb. ZywOo emerges, and now he's denied it. Makalele is stuck. He can't do a thing. Pushing forward, ZywOo dancing around. It is chaos. ZywOo doesn't know where he's looking. Makalele still in with a chance. The bomb
in their most inopportune position, Harry. It's inside of the fountain itself. 2-on-1. Shocks, RPK want to close it out here. They say they don't want this to go on any longer. And guess what? Makalele has other plans. Shots are going off. RPK gets tagged a little bit, but so does Makalele, and ultimately the fight goes the way of Vitality. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The conclusion of the series. Godsent sent home. Home sent even. It's Vitality, and we're going to begin to discuss them